Excelsior everyone, Exodia Fig here, ready to entertain you once again with another thrilling audiobook. Today, we dive into What If Tanya Was the Brother of Naruto One-Shot. A gripping one-shot that's sure to leave you on the edge of your seat. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button to show your support. Also, be sure to check the description for more details and to support the brilliant author behind this breathtaking masterpiece. Now, without further ado, let's begin.
Prologue. The Devil of Konoha. Lord, grant me the strength to wield the power that flows within me, and guide my hand as I strike down those who stand against me. As the prayer left my mouth, I added a curse to being X in my heart. QB in the subconscious space chuckled in amusement hearing the prayer again and felt the hatred contained in Tanya for the being X for a moment. QB leaks out his chakra, lending his power to his unique partner in exchange for benefits. The glowing red demon-like eyes behind the mask locked onto the target below. Flood of red chakra of QB flows inside her body, through her hands, conducting into the metals and seals of Azura MK. 2. Tides of red chakra gather, negative and positive energy collides and coalesces, condense, and rapidly spin at the end of the chakra gun. Blinding red light, akin to a bloody star emanating unimaginable power, stands clear among the clouds. The guards standing by on the ground finally notice the red light in the sky, as if there's a star in the middle of the daylight sky, which is out of ordinary. What is that? However, before he can inform anyone or figure it out, Bija is undone. Bija spiraling bullet. The condensed mass of chakra launched through the air. As it landed, for a second it hit a translucent barrier that shatters like glass on contact. The condensed mass of energy exploded in the next split second. Boom. The entire building is completely annihilated, leaving a 20 meters radius gully in its stead. Trees and ground shook in that moment as the explosion subsides. Silence ensues as the other ANBU standing guard nearby watches in awe. Captain is really powerful. The barrier is completely useless. Hawk said in almost reverence, looking at their captain still in the sky, codenamed Fairy, or more known as Devil of Konoha by higher-ups and other great shinobi villages. Fairy flies down to meet her team members, waiting for confirmation from their sensor. After seconds of silence, Rabbit appears beside their captain. All signs of chakra disappeared. All targets were annihilated. Fairy let out a smile behind the mask. Another mission completed. Let's get back. Yes, Captain. The others replied. As Tanya heads back to Konoha, she recalls her stupid twin brother. I should see what that brat is doing later. It's been some time since I checked on him. Tanya grumbled inside, wondering if he's causing trouble again and would cause her reputation as her supposed sister to fall and would affect her overall position and chance to rise. Third Hokage had already advised her to keep an eye out for him, and she's afraid she somewhat failed to do that, relatively speaking, from what she understands from her observation of what a sibling relationship should be like. Although she thought she did enough. Putting him aside. I will get it this time. A laid-back position in the upper echelon, and enjoy this life leisurely. Curse being X, just you wait and see. Tanya is already calculating how her performance would be evaluated by Third Hokage and Danzo-sama. Danzo read the mission report, revealing a rare smile for her student and loyal subordinate. Hiruzen, with the Jinchuriki under me, your time as Hokage will soon come to an end. And it's my time to lead the village to its glory. The story of Tanya von de Geerchaf in her third life now, Sia Uzumaki, the twin sister of the original protagonist Naruto, has only begun. Chapter 2. Rebirth into Shinobi World. Damned being X. Tanya von de Geerchaf, a soldier of the Empire, received a fatal blow from an enemy. My consciousness fading as I fell from the sky. This is it then. To cease to exist. Logically speaking, it is better than hell. Tanya is sure being X is capable of sending her to hell, or a torture chamber, if being X is sadistic, that is. But that being said, it would be my last reincarnation and what awaits me in complete annihilation. While I cannot say I am grateful, but I am aware of concept of hell, and it is definitely something I feared becoming reality, and I know being X who can send my soul to another world, can stop even time, or at least control my senses and consciousness, and therefore my perception of pain too, is capable of sending me to such a place or illusion, and make me suffer endless torment. Therefore, completely non-existing is a good outcome compared to the possible worst that being X or other so-called claimed deities could have done to me. And I find solace in the fact that being X failed to gain my recognition as a god, and that I didn't lose in that matter even till the end, even in my death and my utter annihilation. My consciousness finally faded as I let out my last breath. I realize I am conscious now, as if I had just awakened from a long, deep slumber. Even if it's all dark. Did I somehow survive? I am sure half of my body was utterly destroyed to pieces. Or did they somehow save my upper half and did something to it, and now I am alive like a certain cyborg story? Oh! Right. Why would I think being X would let me off easily? Perhaps once again he did something and I am alive somehow. Once again, proving how hard he had to try to gain my faith. And that he needs, or even once it proves he can't be the entity called God, who's supposed to be omniscient and omnipresent, all-powerful and mighty, shouldn't need nor want my or anyone's faith. After a long time being in the dark, I finally regained some sense of bodily movement. Just a little. It's as if I have a body, but they refuse to move as much. I am quite confused as to what my current predicament is exactly. Now, after contemplation, I realized what's going on. Another proof of being X cannot be the so-called God he claimed to be. What God has to resort to deception? I am now aware that I have once again reincarnated. I remember this feeling during my second life and can tell I am inside the womb of my new mother. Where is the claimed complete destruction of my soul? If being X really wants my faith, he's doing a bad job at it. I don't have to explain anymore why being X is definitely not God. Cursed being X. The day arrives as I am finally able to see the world. Cries of a baby filled the room. Of course, not mine. I recognize the sound from the other side. Both of them are born healthy, the medic Neen exclaimed in joy. Kushina shed tears of relief and happiness as the twin was delivered too. However, the medic Neen turned to a frown. Oh no! Why isn't she crying? The Neen look at baby Tanya, whose eyes are already open and seemingly locking eyes with her. I suppose I should act accordingly. Tanya swallowed the useless pride as an adult to make a fake baby cry. The medic Neen let out a sigh of relief. She had just planned to slap the babies, but Tanya was spared a spanking. Minato looks at both of their children, having a son and a daughter. He felt surprised and happy at the same time. I am a father of two, he muttered as he wiped the tears almost falling off his eyes. Minato approaches to see his daughter, but once again the Neen ignored him and went to give the newborn Tanya to the red-haired woman, Kushina. Kushina turned her gaze from baby Naruto at her side to Tanya placed on the other. Suya, I get to see you too finally. Kushina looks at the baby who's almost similar to Naruto. The blue eyes, blonde hair like Minato, and the barely visible whiskers on her cheeks. She feels so happy seeing their children. Tanya in her mind is looking around and assessing her situation. The good thing is she had parents this time. As for the language being the familiar Japanese, it brings nostalgia. But what's peculiar is the fact that whatever her place of birth is, it doesn't seem like a typical hospital. Is this a backward world I reincarnated into? Tanya can't bend or move her head much to see more, especially with the clothes wrapping her. She heard the cry of a baby that's been annoying her for a long time now, and it's her twin sibling Naruto from what she can get through the conversations. That's something new, definitely. As for what she expects, she doesn't think having a sibling is of any relevance to her goal. In her previous life, there's nothing worth talking about the first few years. But it's especially hell during the first year as a helpless baby that can't even control their own excretion, unable to form any meaningful communication, unable to move or explore anything new, and basically subjected to a white room torture, but to a lesser extent. The two medic Neen went to take Tanya and Naruto away while Minato would close the weakened seal. Just as my mind is trying to mentally prepare for the coming monotonous day as a baby, my soul feels incoming danger and fear of death strikes all of my senses. I heard screams and the sound of flesh cut with spurting blood all of a sudden. The terrifying presence catching my body just as the person carrying me fell dead. Lady Bawako. Taji. Minato called in shock seeing the two medical nin fell in an instant. The man in an ominous mask held both the babies in one hand, holding onto the cloths wrapping them. Tanya is screaming and cursing being X right now, though it may sound like a baby crying. She looks at the sharp blade pointed at her neck, feeling death is already close to her again. I had just been reborn, and I am just a baby. That cursed be. Tanya has never entered such a ridiculous situation before, even in her past 2 lives. Being X really takes it up to another whole level. How did he get past the barrier? Minato inspected the opponent, already readying his kunai inscribed with flying Raijin seal. Madara places the kunai closer to the babies, threatening Minato. Fourth Hokage Minato. Get away from the Jinchuriki now, he said in deep threatening voice. Otherwise their lives would end. Minato looked at the masked man, trying to figure out as much as he could on what to do in this situation. Ah! Kushina screamed. The seal is constantly weakening as symbols spread across her cheeks. Kushina! Minato shouted in panic. Tanya is observing everything, trying to understand and comprehend what kind of situation she is in. Madara spoke again. Get away from the Jinchuriki. Unless you want to see your children dead. Wait. Calm down. Humph. I am as calm as I can be. Madara snorted. Madara just tosses the 2 babies into the air. Tanya cursed being X like a mantra. Minato threw a kunai to the ceiling close to them and instantly teleported to catch them both. Tanya is both shocked and amazed after comprehending what happened. Instantaneous movement. Teleportation. Even in her previous world with mana and magic, this is not possible yet. She felt a little secure with such a reliable father that can use such powerful magic. Now what will you do for that? Madara said in disdain as he made a hand seal. ZZZTTT. The exploding tag stuck on both Tanya and Naruto is triggering. Minato with his Godspeed reaction unwraps the cloth wrapping them, teleports away, and tosses the bombs and protects both of them. Minato cushioned the impact with his body, injuring his leg with a splinter to protect his children. Tanya just realized that the masked man had just placed bombs on her, a baby, and felt it can never get more outrageous. This is a war crime. It's worse than a war crime. Minato teleported along with them to their home, placing Tanya and Naruto on the bed. You will be safe here. Wait for me and mother, okay? Minato said with soothing words, tucking the blanket onto them. Naruto crying subsided with Minato's words. Minato looks at Tsuya, who's locking eyes with him, as if his daughter is analyzing him. It seems my daughter is a smart one, and not scared. Minato smiled, noticing the intelligent gleam in her eyes. I feel like you can understand me, Minato said jokingly, seeing her daughter looking at him so intently. His face turns serious as he disappears with flying Raijin on the way to save Kushina. After some time, Minato suddenly appears again with Kushina in arms. Tanya is getting used to the sudden disappearance and appearance. However, she sees how her mother is seemingly injured or weak. She had the foreboding feelings. Tanya looks at her mother, who is laid next to them, her hand stretching, trying to hold onto both of them. Those eyes. Tanya can sense it. That her mother's life is coming to an end. It would be a lie that she doesn't feel bitter, but more because of the inconveniences that would be coming. Minato then turned to the cabinet nearby, wearing his Hokage cloak. I will be coming back. Minato disappears. And just then, the ground and walls trembled. Roar of what I can only equate to a monster reaches my ear and causes my scalp to tingle. My twin brother let out a cry, feeling the same dread. I can't bother about Naruto's hand gripping onto my arm because what the hell is that sound? The roar keeps reverberating in the air. The ground keeps shaking. It's as if a monster out there is causing massive destruction nearby. Kushina is holding onto them both, wanting to feel both of them before her life gives out. Tanya felt a sense of pity for her mother. But it's not like she can do anything about it. She tried to muster her mana like she used to do in previous life, but she can't. It's as if she doesn't have any at all. She even began to think that even if she died again so soon, actually, it wasn't that bad to have a reset and reincarnate for the 4th time. Tanya had some sense of calm and clarity thinking that way. The destruction outside seemingly coming closer and closer, with the roaring louder and louder. And Tanya can feel the monster outside is right outside and will probably kill them right at the moment. Just then Minato teleported in and snatched them away, teleported out before the claws of 9 tails destroyed their home. Tanya felt dizziness for a second and adjusted to her surrounding. She finally gets to see the monster. An orange fox-skinned Godzilla with 9 tails, rampaging and destroying everything. Her mind shook again, cursing being X like a mantra. With much complications and drama like in the original Naruto show, Minato eventually uses Death Reaper Seal to take in half of Kurama, and instead of taking it into his belly he decides to entrust it to her daughter. His guts tells him he can trust her with the in half of Kurama. The clarity and intelligence in Tsuyo's eyes tells him she will be able to control the more evil part of Kurama. Using 8 trigram seals, he sealed in Kurama into Tsuyu, adding his own and Kushina's chakra to be able to convey his will to her in the future. Kurama's felt rage having half of himself split from him and pointed his claw to Tsuyu on the altar. Like a skewer, their parents were pierced through. Tanya is baffled at how outrageous everything is. She understands her father had just sealed the power of the clearly evil and dangerous fox monster the size of Godzilla into her body. She had just thought her father was a reliable man, but now she only wants to curse him. How could you do this to your own child? I don't want it. But her cries fall to deaf ears. Who knew if she would one day get taken over or burst open from having that monster inside of her? The other half of Yon Kurama, Minato entrusted it to Naruto. Being X. I have to say, you overdone yourself, Tanya said in resignation. Wondering if things can get any worse. I just want a peaceful, leisurely life. Is it so hard? Chapter 3, New Home. Orphanage of Konoha. It's been 4 years since the night of the Kyuubi attack. These past 4 years can only be said as dull, repeating the same thing as usual and pretending to act like a normal child at the very least. I had come to understand the world I live in now, with soldiers called shinobi that can utilize a source of power called chakra to create various jutsus. I equate them to how I had used mana and magic in previous life. Also, for now the monster sealed inside of me and my brother seems to be inactive, and there's no sign of them even being there as far as I felt. At the very least, I can almost forget that the 9-tailed foxzilla is in fact inside of my body. Suchan. Come on. Stop reading and join me. Naruto screamed into my face in his giddy posture and pouty face. My brother, as usual, somehow always tries to bother me despite my effort to not indulge in his antiques all these years. Nisan, you can always play with Nawako and Tenji. I prefer reading. I don't even bother to look at Naruto, continuing my read on socioeconomic of the Land of Fire in my hands. Thankfully from my request, they at least are decent enough to always bring new books to the orphanage from the village library. So my stay wasn't so bad at all except that I want better food and have my own personal space away from these noisy, annoying brats, especially from my own blood sibling that seemingly has infinite energy to jump around here all day and try to bother me continuously. Suchan is so boring. Naruto heads off with the other kids to play. Author note: older siblings at times would call their younger ones with short form adding chan at the end. I look out the window and see Naruto throwing colorful shuriken and kunai toys to practice targets along with his friends, competing with each other. Yasha. Bullseye. Naruto jumped in excitement. Yes, throwing imitation of what's supposed to be weapons that could kill as a game for children. This world, or at least this military-centered village, is trying to raise soldiers from these systematic approaches, glorifying war and soldiers as fighting for the village or nation and serving as heroes. Tanya returned her gaze from Naruto to the book. Shinobi is basically the main fighting force and soldier of the land. And all of the soldiers are mainly centered around one single center, a hidden village with its own independent management from the rest of the Land of Fire. Hokage, or what I would equate to highest general of the armies, is the one managing the village along with Konoha Council or advisors of the Hokage. The main income of the village comes from commissions, doing mercenary works coming from clients all over the land of fire and funds received directly from the daimyo. As for how one becomes Hokage, it's merits and reputation as far as I understand. From the first Hokage to the late fourth, all of them had achievements to their name in wars and so-called peace that's achieved eventually. Although I do not know the details, it's mentioned about how much they contribute from the books I read. In short, meritocracy. Nono, the director of the orphanage, read the letter from the third Hokage Hiruzen, stating that from now Tsuyu and Naruto would end their stay and live on their own. Nono, as an ex-member of ANBU, knows their status is special, and ANBU is constantly watching them. Even if she does know the specifics, but she knew the importance of the two when Hiruzen personally handed the siblings to her 4 years ago. In the evening, the children gathered around the table. Even though the food lacked variety, the stale bread and soup with pieces of meal still filled my belly. Nono spoke. Naruto, Tsuyu, tomorrow you too. She hesitated for a moment, looking at Naruto, who's only a 4-year-old child. She somehow wasn't worried about Tsuyu, feeling reassured over her independence from her observation. What is it, mother? Naruto raised his head to speak despite his full mouth. You two will live on your own from tomorrow onwards. You two have grown up and can be independent. Huh. But why? Don't worry, Naruto, you two will be given everything to live on your own. Besides, you can always visit. And you two can get a room on your own. Nono tries to reassure Naruto with a smile. Naruto nods, thinking that he still can visit, so it wasn't that different at all. He still can come and play. Tanya is thinking over the information. She does prefer having her own space, and she had long wanted to get away from the brats. But letting a 4-year-old living on their own without any guardian is definitely not normal even for a military village. But she's sure it is connected to their status as the ones who contained the 9-tailed fox. She also knows that the details are kept a secret from everyone, and probably only the higher-ups of Konoha knew of the matter. I understand, mother. Tanya spoke short words. Take care of your brother, Tsuyu. Tsuyu nods. Naruto, however, seems a little annoyed. I don't need my little sister to take care of me. I can take care of myself. And I am the brother. Nono chuckled. Naruto, Tsuyu has always been more mature compared to you. At times I wonder if they were mistaken about who's the older sibling. But then you two are twins. Naruto grumbled, not liking to be seen as immature compared to his little sister. For him, his sister is just boring and bland. No fun at all. The next morning comes. Naruto said goodbye shortly to his friends, promising to always visit to play. It's not a goodbye per se, since they could always just visit as they are still within the same village. The siblings were led to a seemingly old apartment complex in the village with 4 floors. Taking a look inside, it is well furnished with basic appliances and furniture. There's 2 separate bedrooms for herself and his brother. The toilet is shared by the connecting room between our bedrooms. Haha, we get our own house and room. I love this, Naruto said in excitement as he jumped into the bed, rolling around it. Huh, it does feel better. Finally, I can breathe, Tanya commented, agreeing with Naruto for once. After settling down, Tanya took the package containing their monthly stipend. For 100 Rio, Tanya muttered. She hasn't walked around the village nor asked about the price for the daily necessities. She planned to walk around and budget properly. Naruto's eyes shines in excitement seeing the notes of money. Wow, so much money. Suchan, let's get some sweets. No, I want to eat meat. Naruto comes close to snatching the money away. No, I will hold the money. As for sweets or meat, we have to properly budget ourselves. You just want to take the money yourselves. And why do you get to keep it? Naruto pouted. You can't even do basic multiplication and division. You will get cheated out there, Tsuyu said coldly. Just because you are smarter doesn't mean I would be cheated. I am not that stupid. Tanya had to argue back and forth with Naruto. She almost wanted to just slap the shit out of his brother, but contained her annoyance. Tanya, unable to defeat Naruto's persistence, had to agree they would get a treat right now and managed to shut him up. Yay! Sweets. Naruto walks happily alongside Tanya to the shopping district. Naruto's eyes widened, seeing so many stalls selling various things, toys, food, those kunai, that weird shop selling weird things. He wants this, he wants that, and Tanya with her ruthless no denies Naruto at every single instance. Naruto felt like he's about to throw a tantrum. Tanya, on the other hand, felt a headache. Is this what parenting looks like? It's as if this is a part of being ex-planned, trying to torture her mentally and spiritually. Tanya looks around to get groceries first and lists down the prices, setting aside for use in emergencies, budgeting the rent and utilities, and comes down to being able to have an extra 50 Rio or so per month for entertainment, comfort, or their pleasure. She understands Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and entertainment and luxury is a part of the needs of human beings. All right, let's get something sweet. Go ahead, pick what you want. Yay! Suchan, let's go. 2 weeks passed by as we both got used to living on our own. There's also a news from Naruto saying Mother suddenly went out of Konoha to visit her relatives outside, and there's a new director, but Naruto still missed Mother. Tanya doesn't think much of it. So good. Suchan the best Tabeo. Naruto happily eats his omuris topped with cabbage at the sides. Tanya had a slight smile hearing his compliment. Maybe if you helped Mother cook you would have learned to cook for yourself and stop forcing the work on me. Huh? Both of you always tell me to go out whenever I want to help. His saliva almost spilled. That's because you aren't helping. What dash. After some sibling banter, Naruto heads out to play. Tanya went to the living room, taking a book on countries in the land of fire and its people she borrowed from the library, ready to continue where she last stopped. After half an hour, suddenly Naruto comes back. I am home. Naruto sounds a little sad. I frowned, hearing this unusual tone. What is it, Nai-san? Why are you back? The orphanage. It's closed. The notice says they moved to a new orphanage. Tanya stops reading her book. What does the notice say? It just says from today onward the orphanage is under renovation and they moved to a new one. Tanya squinted her eyes. Either that's what happened, or there's something else going on. Over the next few days, Naruto confirmed something. The people he knew are nowhere to be found. Naruto had walked around the village, searching across the different orphanages there, and they had just gone. Naruto, feeling sad and lonely, starts to pester Tanya again. Tanya reluctantly plays along with him half of the time, for the sake of his well-being or sense of responsibility she had. Something doesn't feel right. Tanya felt something bad was going to happen. Or it had happened. There's something off about the whole situation. Base of Root Organization. Danzo-sama, here's the report. We had taken all of them into our ground. Unsuitable candidate had been taken care of. Danzo nodded, hoping the new seedlings would give him good tools for his use. He had sent Nono, an ex-Root member, to spy on the movements of Kumogakure, as well as to assassinate a traitor of the village, cleaning up those who had too much information. For the sake of the village, he will do whatever it takes to ensure peace and safety and consolidate his own power. I will go and see the seedlings. Danzo stood up and walked out of his office, into the darkness of the root. As Danzo walks around the base, seeing the new seedlings being trained, he decides it's time to proceed with the plan to unite the village. And for that the village needs a source to bind them together, and what's easiest is hate. Suzome, Danzo muttered. A person with a sparrow mask appeared beside Danzo kneeling. Proceed with the plan to spread rumors on the Jinchuriki. The boy, Naruto. Understood, Danzo-sama. For the sake of Konoha, it's what needs to be done. Danzo walks into the darkness. Brewing shadows behind the scenes. Chapter 4. Isolation. Did you hear? That's the boy who caused the death of the fourth. I heard he's the son of the fox demon. Why did they let him walk around like this? Is the Hokage really not doing anything about him? Whispers and murmurs act like a brewing storm. At the playground, Naruto is playing football with other kids that's there. Suddenly one of the adults come in and pulled one of the kid. Tsukasa, don't play with that kid. He's bad luck. Huh? Naruto watches as his new friend is taken away. As he turned to look around, he felt the gazes. Why are they looking at me like that? Naruto felt himself isolated, as if an invincible pressure was weighing on him. Naruto tried to ignore the feelings. Maybe it's just his imagination. Naruto. Catch. Koda kicked the ball, hitting Naruto's head. Ow! Haha. Naruto. What are you looking at? Naruto chuckled, completely forgetting the pressure earlier. Here I come. Naruto played with Koda and a few others. Returning home, he felt the gazes again, but brushed it off as just his overthinking. The next day. Oi! Koda. Let's play hide and seek. Naruto comes running with a huge smile seeing Koda at the playground. Naruto. Koda seems tense suddenly. My mother wants me to go back home early. Sorry. Koda avoided looking at Naruto's eyes and walked away. Koda, don't play with that yellow-haired kid. Don't you stay near him. You understand? Koda just nods, albeit feeling guilty. Seeing his mom had tears glistening and even anger in her eyes, he doesn't understand why, but he doesn't want to cause her mother to feel sad. His mother looks at the picture of his late father who died during the Kyuubi attack. He's not sure what she's thinking. Naruto, for the first time, felt a stinging pain in his chest. Huh? Koda. Wait. Koda didn't turn his head and walked away. Seeing how he looked at him, avoiding his eyes, he felt isolated. Why? Naruto looked around. And he suddenly felt it again. The glare, the gaze. Those eyes. Naruto felt his heart sting more, and the heaviness in his chest caused him to feel each breath become heavy. He wanted to cry. Tears felt like flowing out of his eyes. He shook his head. He doesn't understand. He looked at the other kids at the playground. But why? Why are they avoiding me too? Gee guys, can I play too? He said, hopeful to join in their games of marbles. We are full. The boy said coldly and ignored Naruto. Oh, I see. It's fine, haha. Naruto said with a smile. But his heart stinged. NNHH. Naruto sniffed. The tears are about to fall. He turned around and ran back home. He doesn't want to stay here anymore. Tanya is reading the newspaper today. But hearing the door open, she frowned. Nissan, she turned to see her brother coming in. When he had just gone out half an hour ago. NNH. NHHH. Naruto closed his face, rubbing his eyes. Naruto suddenly burst into tears. Tanya is bewildered. What could happen to make his seemingly always on morphine brother cry like this? Suchan. Tanya just sat there, unsure what to do. She takes a deep breath. Nissan, tell me what happened. Koda doesn't want to play with me. Tanya is trying to process and understand what exactly is causing Naruto to cry. Why? I don't know. That doesn't help much. What did he say? His mother wants him to go back early. And? You still have other friends to play with. They don't want to play with me either. Tanya rolled her eyes. Not everyone will like everyone. You can't just ask random people who don't know you much to simply feel good about playing with them. For her, it's normal that Naruto got rejected. Just play with those familiar to you. Don't force yourself onto people. Not everyone will like you. That's just how it is. Okay. Naruto turned away into his room. He's unable to truly express in words what caused the pain in his heart. He felt dejected and lay in bed, feeling down and heavy. I guess I could bring him outside tonight to get some treats. As much as Tanya doesn't really care much about childish problems and Naruto's nonsense, she feels a responsibility, and it's her duty as Naruto's legal guardian. After some time, Tanya went to knock on Naruto's door. Nissan, let's eat out today. Naruto, hearing that, suddenly brightened up. He went to wash his face and get ready instantly. Coming out of the door, Naruto is giddy again. I want ramen. His bright blue eyes almost blinded Tanya's own. Okay, let's go. Tanya smiled a little, marveled a little at how easy it is for a child's emotions to change, finding them quite amusing. Nighttime in Konoha is lively. Shinobi hanging out in izakayas after a whole day's work or mission, drinking booze and sake. It reminds her of her last life. TCH. Wonder if those guys end up like me or if they get through everything. She reminisces about the guys she raised and is proud of. She is certain they would continue to be the excellent soldiers they were even if it's not her leading them. Nissan, which ramen you want? She looks over at Naruto, who's suddenly quiet, his face looking down. Nissan. I want Uncle Tojo's place. All right. As the two walk side by side, Tanya finally realizes what's off. The gazes around them. She heard the hushes and whispers, pointing at them. She can tell from their eyes, the underlying negative emotions. As if there's fear, disgust, annoyance, irritation, anger. She keeps walking with Naruto and can confirm this wasn't just in her head. She doesn't have much care per se, but it's quite annoying to be gawked at and trash-talked at. As for the reason, she thinks there's only one logical answer. No wonder. This is why his brother is like this. But how do the villagers know? She cannot answer this. And it probably does not matter even if she knew how. Whether a person who's supposed to keep the secret accidentally tells the chatty auntie next door, or it's an intentional foul play, she cannot let this have an effect on Naruto's mental development. The two reached Uncle Toji's place. Welcome. Have a seat. Uncle Toji looks at the siblings. His eyes landed on Naruto, and his facial expression distorted to that of anger. We are closing early. Eat somewhere else. He huffed and left abruptly. Naruto felt a pang in his heart. His body froze, unable to move. He doesn't understand. Why? I don't get it. Why is everyone? Naruto felt heaviness in his chest. Isolation, rejection, tears glistened in his eyes again. Just then, a hand grabs his firm, pulling Naruto out from his stupor. Nissan, we will eat somewhere else. Tanya's commanding voice and fierce eyes somehow gets Naruto to move his feet. Tanya pulled Naruto out of the shop. As they went out, a customer came in and Uncle Toji welcomed him warmly as usual. Naruto is not stupid enough to not understand what this means. And it hurts him so much. And it hurts more when he doesn't understand why. However, Tanya noticed something peculiar about the situation. If I am not mistaken, Uncle Toji specifically looks at Naruto more. Perhaps. She walks with Naruto across the street some more, arriving at another ramen restaurant. They have gone there a few times and are familiar with Auntie Aiko. Naruto, we will eat at home. Tanya said as he entered the ramen shop first. It's Tsuyu-chan. Aiko, the owner of the restaurant, had an awkward tone in her greetings. But at least she doesn't see the negative emotions from her nor other customers inside. At most, she's associated, as if she's the brother or family of a monster. I give her a sweet smile like a 4-year-old girl had, ignoring the whispers around me. Auntie, I want to order takeout. 1 tonkatsu ramen with extra toppings and regular kaisen ramen please, Tanya said politely. Aiko had an uncomfortable body language, but nodded and went to prepare them. Naruto, uncomfortable standing alone outside with the gazes and whispers directed to him, comes into the store to stay with Tanya. But then the gazes of the customer turned on him instantly. Tanya didn't say a word. Aiko had placed the 2 takeouts in the packaging, ready to hand it over. But her grip tightened, almost shaking. Her expression changed when her eyes turned to Naruto, as if she's looking at the very person who murdered her child. Tsuyu-chan, here. She handed them over to me with a complex tone. I thanked her politely and pulled Naruto out with me. From her tone and facial expression, she can confirm to a certain extent the villagers don't know that I too had the 9-tailed fox in myself. This will be difficult. Tanya looks at Naruto with pity and even annoyance at the whole situation. Even if she herself is aware of her own inability to connect in depth with others, she has a better moral standard to not treat an innocent child of 4 years old like a monster. Nissan, listen to me. Naruto raises his chin up and looks at his sister. You don't have to care about what others say or how they see you. You know yourself whether you deserve to be treated in such a way or not. Understand? Yes, I understand. Naruto just nods. He tries to digest his sister's words. And he knows she's right. but it still hurts. Good. Let's go back home before the food gets cold. The two come back home. Naruto ate the ramen silently, and didn't have his usual nonsense blabbering about his day. The silence even caused me to feel a little off, as if I missed coffee in my morning. After we were done, I cleaned up the table and the plates, washing them quickly. Suchan, Naruto said with a sulking voice. Yes. Naruto seems to want to say something, but is unable to. Never mind. Naruto heads off to his room. Tanya can sense Naruto's mental state definitely in bad shape, but she doesn't know what to do about it. She had said what had to be said, and it's up to Naruto to grow up and realize the futility of caring over what others think and say. As Tanya closes his eyes on her bed, suddenly there's a knock on her door. The door creaks open, and Naruto pops in with his pillow. Suchan, can I sleep with you tonight? Naruto felt a sense of loneliness after everything. Sigh. Fine. Despite my feeling of discomfort and awkwardness of sharing my own personal space, I suppose I had to give in for today. Naruto tucked himself under the blanket, hugging his pillow and using half of mine to rest his head on. After a minute, Naruto spoke suddenly. Suchan, why are they so mean to me? Naruto's voice broke. He's crying again. Tanya gathers her thoughts about it. She can't just tell Naruto he had a monster inside of him that had once destroyed a part of the village and killed a lot of people. Emotional repercussions aside, it is supposed to be a secret. There's also the fact that knowing doesn't change a thing about how others would treat his brother. I don't get it. NNH. Naruto sniffed. Tanya handed him tissues, not wanting him to dirty her bed. Nisan, it hurts only when you let them hurt you with their words and actions. And those people, they know nothing about you. And frankly, we don't know anything about them either. However, I know and you know yourself you don't deserve to be treated like crap. You have to grow up and stay strong. Understand? Yes. Suchan, I will stay strong. Naruto nods. Tanya nodded, satisfied at Naruto's answer. Now get to sleep. It will feel better in the morning. NN. The long day is finally over. However, it's just the beginning for both of them. Chapter 5, Hiruzen's Guilt. Suchan, let's go fishing. Naruto is eager for his little sister to join him. I am not interested, Tanya said casually while flicking her book. Come on. It will be so much fun, I promise. Fine. Tanya closed her book. She counted that she had rejected Naruto's invitation a few times before, so she supposed she could accompany him today to make it up to him. She is aware Naruto is feeling lonely inside, and so she tries to fulfill her duty while ensuring her brother does not become too reliant on her either. Naruto's eyes brighten, feeling happy inside. We're gonna catch a lot of big fish today. I suppose it's been a while since we had freshwater fish. It would be a nice change, Tanya said with a slight smile. See? I know it would be fun. Tanya followed Naruto into the forest at the edge of Konoha. After weeks, the two are used to the treatment of the villagers towards them and do not mention them. Following Naruto, they soon reached a clearing with a clear river flowing. It's a nice place. Tanya breathes in the clear air and hints of nature and fresh water. The sound of the river flowing gives a serene vibe to it. This is a nice change of scenery. If there's hot coffee, it would be perfect. Perhaps I should bring one next time. Naruto is fumbling with the stick and tied the thread and hook to it, then placed the bait. He went to make a fishing rod for his sister as well. Come on. Let's compete to see who gets more fish. If you want to catch one, you better stay quiet, Tanya said in amusement, taking the fishing rod and throwing them into the clear river. Sitting on the flat rock, she placed the rod next to her, opening the book, Journal of a Wandering Shinobi Mikomoto, flipping through them. The sounds of the river, the birds, the insects, the rustling leaves, and the cool wind. Leisurely life. If only days like this can last forever. Should have brought coffee. TCH. Tanya bit his lip, remembering being X for a second. She's certain her life would be upside down again at some point, probably once she gets into the Ninja Academy next year. HM? What is it, Suchan? Nothing. Just got reminded of someone who's a complete asshole. Suchan, bad words. But there's a lot of jerks here, all right. Humph. Naruto followed suit, grumpily moving his rod trying to attract some fishes. But I will prove them wrong about me. Once I become Hokage, hehe. They would see how great Naruto Uzumaki is. Believe it. Tanya let out an amused low chuckle. It is not easy to become Hokage Naruto. From the first Hokage to the late fourth, all of them had merits in their name as well as connections. And besides, are you sure you want to become a shinobi to begin with? Being a soldier is not as bright or heroic as they make it out to be. I am sure all right. When I am Hokage, I will be super strong and everyone will look up to me. You can always choose a more peaceful life. And at some point, people's opinions wouldn't matter to you, Tanya said. But in her mind, she knows fate wouldn't let them. They had monsters inside their body after all. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't get it. Naruto had his voice lowered, his eyes looking down at his reflection in the water. They didn't hate you. They never pushed you away or avoided you. And you're always. It's as if you don't care about anything. Nissan, I do care about few things. Naruto is still looking at his own reflection. First, my own peace. And as for others, it can be summarized under that as well. Naruto looked away after hearing the answer, feeling a little heartbroken. She doesn't care about me. But I cannot truly feel at peace if you're not. I am your sister, after all. Tanya spoke from her heart. When it comes to people who mean something to her and have value in her life, she can count within 10 fingers. And right now, Naruto is the second having significance after herself. Although, logically speaking, Naruto does not bring her anything to the table and is a burden and just extra responsibility. But somehow his presence is something. Perhaps not needed, but she can appreciate him. Besides, there's a sense of achievement when Naruto gets it right, like she had done a good job. She wants Naruto to be independent, strong, and become a successful person. Suchan. Naruto felt a sense of warmth in his chest. He knows his sister would always support him. However, I have to tell you again that the path to become Hokage is not beautiful. Shinobi are soldiers who will hurt others and may even kill people. You are too innocent to do such things. Well, I am not that innocent. I can do it if it's the enemy. It's to protect the village. Enemy, huh? There is no enemy or allies, evil or justice. Only interests aligning or opposing. That's what determines it. Though, the idea that this brat can kill someone doesn't seem real. If you are really sure then. Plop. Wah. I got it. Naruto jumped in joy as he reeled in. Hokage office. Hiruzen watches over the siblings through his crystal bowl. He occasionally would check on them to see how they are doing. He felt guilty for being unable to stop the rumors about Naruto from going out of control. But what's done is done. He's worried for Naruto. However, from his observation, he feels worried for Tsuyu as well. Too mature for her age. Danzo even asks Hiruzen to let him be in charge of training Tsuyu in the future. That in his words, he can see Tsuyu is an extremely gifted talent. The higher-ups know Tanya is a genius that can speak, write, count, at such an early age. Her ways of interacting with others are also way ahead of her peers, like an adult. They all agree it's almost like a second coming of Minato Namake's. Danzo especially appreciates the look in Tanya's eyes. He can see the type of darkness suitable for the root, unnatural at that. He is certain, under his guidance he can bring out Tanya's full potential, and he can use Tanya much better for Konoha compared to others. Hiruzen naturally denied him instantly. As if Hiruzen does not know what he is scheming? And letting Danzo control one of the Jinchuriki is something Hiruzen does not want to risk. A child of her age isn't supposed to act so mature. Perhaps, living without a parent forced her to grow up into an adult far too early, before she can even experience a proper childhood. This is not what he wanted to see. Children should be happy and have smiles on their faces. Hiruzen looked at the picture of Minato in his office. Sigh. I failed you, Minato. I wonder if you're seeing how your children grow up without you and Kushina from up there. Hiruzen let out another puff of smoke. He sees Tsuyu and Naruto grilling fish by the river. He had this idea to go speak to them and maybe act like a grandpa to them. Thinking about it, Seiya's maturity is probably due to having no one she can be dependent on. As for Naruto, he had his sister to depend on even if the villagers isolated him. But how could a child depend on another child? Hiruzen stood from his seat and take off his Hokage hat, wanting to see the kids. Crackle, crackle. Naruto is restless as usual, throwing stones into the river and coming back asking over and over again if the fishes are cooked. His mouth is already watering. Another minute, Tanya said as he tore the flesh open with a knife to look. Suddenly, a weight seemingly pricked at Tanya's senses. Tanya's ears twitched, and she felt someone was spying on them behind her. Someone is sneaking up on me. Show yourself. Tanya quickly stood on guard, holding the knife in her hand in a defensive stance. Titsu-chan. What is it? Naruto felt scared seeing Tanya's reaction and hid behind her. Hiruzen is surprised, even shocked at how sharp Tanya is. And the defensive stance she took, it's as if she's a born shinobi. A genius. He is casually hiding, trying to find the right time and preparing the right words to introduce himself. But even then, ordinary genin shouldn't be able to notice. Hiruzen came out from behind the tree, raising his hands. Ahaha. I just smell something really good and feel hungry. Who are you, Tebeo? Naruto looks warily at the old man. Why does this guy look familiar? The third. Tanya quickly withdrew her knife. Cursed being X. I just offended the last person I should offend. What do I do to fix my image? Think. I am just an old man passing by. Hiruzen said sheepishly. Suddenly a grumbling noise came out from Hiruzen. HN. Haha. Haha. Naruto chuckled, hearing the sound from the old man. Hiruzen's face blushed a little, seemingly embarrassed. Ji-chan. Here. Come eat. Oh, thank you. I am really hungry. So Tsuyukuin is the little sister you say? But she really seems like the older one. Hiruzen said jokingly. Ah, I suppose. But it doesn't count. We are twins. And also she's boring to Tebeo. She only likes reading books. I just have a different interest than you and I-san. Tanya is having a hard time trying to form a proper conversation like a child's supposed to. She can tell Hiruzen is acting like some normal grandpa and unable to grasp the exact way she should act in this situation. Nah, Tsuyukuin. Hiruzen called out. Yes, Ji-san. Tanya replied politely. Hiruzen felt a little sad, seeing up close how mature Tanya is. What is your dream? You brother wants to be Hokage. What about you then? My dream. Tanya takes a deeper breath, forming her words. My dream is to live in peace and prosperity, with those dear to me. A textbook answer that fits Tanya's own goal to live a life of leisure. Hiruzen felt it's a little too general for a child to claim as a dream. Peace and prosperity, huh? Then, what do you want to do to achieve that? This is it. My chance to make an impression on the person with the highest status in the village. I want to become a shinobi so that I can ensure that peace and protect those dear to me. Konoha is my home and the place where my family and friends are. I want to protect and fight for them with my own hands. Her voice are clear and certain. Her eyes gaze fierce into Hiruzen's eyes, trying to embody the so-called will of fire she had read about. Hiruzen nods, feeling happy that both of Minato's children inherit the will of the fire. Although he might not have realized he had been dubbed. Naruto made some weird faces after hearing Tanya's words. Huh? You have friends? And you said why mmh-. Tanya quickly shut Naruto's mouth from revealing her true thoughts of gaining merits to eventually sit at the seats of advisors and have a leisurely time. Hiruzen laughed at the scene, finding the siblings amusing. Then, next year you two can enroll in the Ninja Academy. I am sure you two can become excellent shinobi. Yeah. Ji-chan, just you wait. I will become Hokage. Believe it. Ha ha. Of course. Hiruzen laughed at Naruto's spirit. Chapter 6. Ninja Academy. So many people. Naruto looked at the endless lines of people lining up to register as new students. It's natural. Tanya didn't elaborate more. I can't wait to learn cool jutsu. I am so excited. Naruto is being his usual restless self as they move step by step following the lines. Naruto looked around, seeing most of the kids his age all had parents accompanying them. Naruto felt a little sadness tugged in his chest. He wished his parents were here. He wonders what it felt like to have parents. But at least, Suchan is here. Naruto smiled, looking at his sister who always had a bored look on her face. Naruto realized he had never heard Tanya laugh for real. At most, he had seen Tanya smile in amusement and let out some short chuckle at best instead of actual laughs. But that's her little sister all right. Hi. Naruto has a bad idea brewing in his head. He went to move his hand and tickle Tanya's sides. Tanya glances coldly at Naruto, unaffected, and doesn't even flinch, as if asking what he is trying to do. Doesn't it feel ticklish at all? Not enough. Tanya just smiled a little shortly. Already used to his antics. TCH, Naruto grumbled, playing with his goggles, kicking the rock nearby, and doing small little actions to curb his restlessness. Finally, the registration is done. The children are led by a male shinobi instructor with eyes that are silver white. Good morning, everyone. I am sure all of you are very excited to join the academy. But as per requirement, I will first test each of your chakra volumes. Unfortunately, those who don't meet the minimum requirement wouldn't be able to join the academy. Some of the children murmured among each other, anxious that they would get kicked out. But even if your path as a shinobi is cut short, there are always other paths. So don't worry too much. Okay, everyone line up according to your assigned number. Everyone roughly lined up. Just then, the instructor made a hand seal. The Akugan. Some of the children are startled, quite scared seeing the veins and how scary the instructor looks right now. Interesting. I can feel he's seeing through me. It's like his eyes are going to pop out, Naruto commented. Show respect to the instructor, Naruto. So this is the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan. The instructor walks casually, looking intently at each of them while writing scores on the name list he's holding. His gaze stays a little longer on the siblings, seeing the above-average chakra volume. Fail. Pass. F-pass. Fail. Pass. 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 The failed children went out of the line, ready to return to their parents in disappointment. Tanya has to say, it seems quite subjective. Or did he have a method to quantify the chakra amount? Or just his experience? After the ones passed are gathered, the next few tests are done. But the most important one is the test for talent to mold chakra. The instructor injects chakra into the student for them to feel it first, for them to grasp the concept of chakra. Ever since Tanya felt the energy flowing into her, she can feel that she can instinctually create it herself inside her body. She gave it a try and got it instantly, probably due to her last life as mage. The energy felt like mana, as if it had its own circulatory system in her body flowing throughout her limbs. But she can't mold much, only very little. She can tell it will take practice. Those that can feel something at all pass immediately, while those that tried hard within many tries and still failed had to give up. Yosha, we passed Suchan. And we are in same class too. Tanya observes their classmates and can figure out the children of big and small clans within the village are all gathered in their class. Hyuga, Nara, Yamanaka, Inuzuka, Uchiha. It's definitely a good class to make connections. As for me and Naruto, both of us bear the name Uzumaki, a clan that once were an ally to Konoha. The spiral symbol on the vest on the shinobi of Konoha pays homage to the clan, and that shows how significant the clan name is and their own bloodline potential as a shinobi. The students gathered together, having their first homeroom meeting. Good morning, everyone. I'm Arika Yumino, and I'll be your homeroom teacher throughout your stay in the academy. First of all, congratulations to all of you for making it to this point. Now, who would like to introduce themselves first? Arika looked at the excited students. Naruto stood up, standing on his seat proudly. I am Uzumaki Naruto. I like ramen and I will become the Hokage. And everyone will look up to me. Believe it. The other students murmur, some snort, some don't care, some nod inwardly, also wanting to be the cool Hokage. A lot think he's obnoxious, wanting attention. That's a great dream, Naruto. But becoming Hokage requires hard work. Irika replied politely. And connections, Tanya added inwardly. Next, the one next to Naruto. Tanya stood, her voice polite but not overbearing. I am Uzumaki Tsuya, Naruto's twin sister. I like reading books in my free time along with hot coffee. I want to become an excellent shinobi that can contribute to the village's peace and protection. That's good, Tsuya. You seem very different from your brother. Yes, Irika-sensei. She replied shortly, not commenting on the obvious. While the rest of the classmates introduced themselves, Naruto turns his head to the side to chat and try to make friends. Tanya is taking mental notes in her mind whenever the children of those big clans introduce themselves. Suddenly she felt something moving and grinding at her feet. Her first thought is Naruto is disturbing her for no reason, but her brows tighten, seeing a small dog that's wagging its small tail and looking at her. A stray? She is annoyed and planning to throw it out. But the dog decided to jump and stay on her lap instead. TCH. I wonder if this village has stray animal control. Hey, Tsuyu-chan, right? A male with a hoodie on called out to her. Tanya looked to the side, seeing the male sitting on the next table calling her. It's the son of the Inuzuka clan's matriarch, Kiba Inuzuka. Tanya put on a slightly more friendly posture and smile, seeing it's someone from a big clan. Yes, I am Tanya. It's a pleasure to know you, Kiba-san. Kiba rubbed the back of his neck, seeming sheepish. Tanya almost thought he had a blush on his face, but maybe it's just her imagination. Oh, you know my name. Haha. Kiba is happy, probably thinking Tanya actually pays special attention to him to remember his introduction. He's trying hard to control his expression right now. Tanya is unaware that she is one of the prettiest girls in class, with fair skin, light blonde hair, and bright blue eyes. And add to the fact that this is her first time to be in a school among kids her age. In her previous life, she was directly enlisted as soldiers as a child among adults, so she was never given attention in that regard, and she did not notice. This is something completely new that it didn't registered in her mind. Sorry about my dog. He rarely is friendly to strangers, you know. Akamaru. Come back here. Kiba calls out to Akamaru, but the dog is reluctant to move. Tanya politely grabbed it and handed it over to him. Thanks. My dog seems to like you. So. Dash. Hey, why are you bringing a dog to class? Naruto noticed the interaction, and his eyes glared at Kiba. He can see what he's trying to do, and he doesn't like it at all. Huh. I am given special permission. We of the Inuzuka clan all have ninja dog companions. But what if he peed on someone? Huh. My dog isn't so dash. Naruto, stay quiet dash. Tanya is about to stop him. Naruto. Kiba. Irika slammed the table, gaining their attention. Stop disturbing the class. The others are still introducing themselves. This isn't a playground. I won't give any punishment since it's the first day. But next time, there will be punishment, understand? And I am saying this to all of you as well. Yes, Irika-sensei. The two troublemakers replied sheepishly. But the two managed to exchange a glare as if blaming each other. Tanya didn't think much of it, thinking Naruto is acting like himself. But she will have to step in if he ever crossed too many lines when it comes to disobeying the rules and order, she thought. All right, class. I will continue to explain the curriculum and what you will learn in your first year in the academy. Irika-sensei continued. The days in the academy are mostly the same, with lectures on basic elementary subjects and with subjects specific to being a shinobi. Tanya pays attention especially for class regarding the basis of chakra, the practice methods to improve amount and control, and etc. They also had field practice to build stamina and the body. Practice on Showa-kenjutsu and taijutsu. She's told that for medical ninjutsu, high understanding of the human body and theoretical knowledge is essential, and she planned to learn it as well in the future. Knowing more is always better. As for ninjutsu, in the first year they would be only learning the major hand seals and to practice the chakra molding corresponding to it. Unless they are from big clans or have shinobi parents who had taught them earlier, civilian students wouldn't be able to do their first ninjutsu in the first year normally unless they are a genius. There is a lot of knowledge that needs to be learned and practiced. From what she knows generally, those that managed to graduate early all had training and supplementary materials even before they attend the academy due to having shinobi parents that can teach them. But this does not stop Tanya from planning her future. She decided to graduate as early as possible. Proving herself as a genius is also a kind of merit, and being a genius means to be noticed and increase the chances of forming the connection with people that had status and power that would rub it onto her. Unlike in her previous life where merit is more important than personal connection to climb the ladder, the world of shinobi instead requires connection more than merit. Because individual powers, knowledge, and skills are highly fluctuated. A single Kage-level shinobi, for example, can handle 10 elite jonin and kill chunin like flies. In her previous life, such a situation only happened if being X or possibly other deities provide their so-called blessings, but it will not be too outrageous compared to what's possible in this world. Therefore, personal connection matters most for Tanya now. And she has to appear as a genius and graduate early. Chapter 7. Genius. Okay, next up, Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke holds his Shotokan. The training he honed at home and with his brother far surpasses others. Whoosh! Thud thud thud. All the Shotokens hit the target. Sasuke-kun. Kya, the girls cheered for him, including a certain pink-haired girl. Good job. As expected of the son of the Uchiha patriarch. Next, Naruto. Hehe. Sasuke, watch me. This isn't so difficult to Veo. Sasuke just smirked, crossing his arms wanting to see Naruto's failure. Over the months, Naruto has always been challenging and pissing him off for no reason. Well, because Naruto inwardly feels jealous of how great Sasuke is, how everyone is praising and gushing over him. Thud. Plunk. Whoosh. One barely hit. One got deflected. One missed entirely. Is that it? Sasuke mocked. You are just lucky. Just you wait. Naruto retorted. Naruto, just accept you can't beat Sasuke. Die, an extra commented. NNH. I can beat him all right. Okay, enough. See you, go ahead. Tanya nods and comes forward. Sasuke's smirking expression turned a little serious. Naruto may be dumb and overestimate himself, but his twin sister is something entirely different. Naruto stopped arguing with Sasuke and watches his sibling. With a cold, serious expression, Tanya throws the shuriken with accuracy. Thud. 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 The shuriken hits the target, pretty much already on the level of Sasuke. Iruka-sensei brightened up. Good job, Tsuyu. You improved so much. You must have practiced hard. Yes, Iruka-sensei. Keep up the good work. And Naruto, follow your sister's example. Naruto grumbled, disliking being compared. I work hard too, to Veo. Naruto seemingly throws a tantrum with his face at Iruka. Sasuke felt dissatisfied seeing Tsuyu who, in his mind, an orphan that shouldn't have any prior training or guidance had now stood alongside him as the class topper. Especially in taijutsu. It's as if Tsuyu had years of life and death combat experience drilled into her bones already. Her movements are ruthless. Each of her strikes has no resemblance to hold back at all. Now even shurikenjutsu that Tsuyu had zero experience with since starting academy had now reached a level equivalent to Sasuke that had been training a lot with his brother. I can't let a nobody step on the pride of Uchiha. I have to train harder. Sasuke firms his heart, not wanting to disappoint his father, his brother, and the Uchiha clan. Shug. Tsuyu-chan is so cool. The girls whisper among themselves. And she's also so pretty. Last exam she had first place too. And I heard she got all perfect scores. The girls look up at Tsuyu like she's the role model of a Kunoichi. The boys are basically gushing over Tsuyu like how girls are gushing over Sasuke. But they're not so shameless to talk about it openly since boys are boys. Kiba whispered to his group of friends how Tsuyu is so cool and pretty. Their vocabulary doesn't amount to much to describe Tsuyu. I should invite her again. Hehe. Kiba felt a rush of excitement at the idea. His friends nudge his shoulders, saying how lucky he is that he's one of the guys Tsuyu actually talks to and even visited his clan with him. Tsuyu is regarded as a cold beauty by the boys. A lot of them attempt to talk to her, but she always politely refuses. However, there are certain people she particularly communicates more with. Tsuyu watches as Hinata finishes his taijutsu training with the instructor. observing the gentle fist of the Hyuga clan. The gentle fist may seem gentle, but the power comes from chakra exploding from the Tenketsu point upon hit, though most of the damage is towards the chakra network. Soyu realizes an important thing as she interacts with the children of these big clans. They had heritage and knowledge of jutsu and techniques that let them surpass civilians easily. Suyu is able to top the class in taijutsu because of pure skill, experience, and mindset alone. But she knows that what she's able to do, it's something all civilian ninja with that much training and time can achieve at some point. She is aware she is a fake genius. As for ninjutsu, she only mastered body flicker so far, and she's still on the way to master substitution jutsu. Her experience to mold mana and cast spells in her previous life basically jump-started her skills in chakra molding. Iruka-sensei is utterly shocked seeing Tsuyu able to use body flicker on the first day of learning it, albeit having no control over it, and crash flat on the ground after. Tanya lost in her thoughts, pondering her plan. She wants to acquire jutsu other than the basics. The most direct accessible way is to do missions, gain merits, and exchange merit for jutsu available at the mission center. But this will take too much time and effort. Those from big clans already have those jutsu from birth compared to that of civilians that had to work their bones for. For now, Tsuyu wants to improve her taijutsu, wanting to utilize chakra in physical combat. Inuzuka's taijutsu, for example, uses chakra to mimic canine form and attacks. Kiba is quite generous in explaining his clan technique to her during her visit. But she finds them not fitting her, unfortunately. Besides, there's also the fact that Soyu's own body is still that of a child, and she's a female that has lesser muscle mass, and thus her physical strength is limited. She decides to approach Hinata, the heir to Hyuga clan again, hopefully gaining something. The use of chakra expulsion from strikes seems like a perfect start for her to explore. Hinata is quite friendly to her despite her introverted nature, though somehow the conversation always steered to Naruto. She noticed Hinata would always ask about Naruto. Naruto this, Naruto that. Is Naruto that handsome in her eyes? Tanya looks over at Naruto, who's now trying to join a group of guys to talk with them, as usual, trying making new friends, but he ends up just making them uncomfortable and causes the opposite reaction instead over time. Sigh. I have told him many times he shouldn't act so desperate. Why can't he understand he should simply act like a normal person, not too excited, not too clingy, shouldn't always interrupt others or join in others' conversations, and instead be a good listener. And people would naturally be inclined to get to know you and let you into their circle. Tanya even had made notes based on a book in her first life on how to get people to like you and gave it to Naruto. But it's as if her effort is futile. Suyu had a sense of exasperation perhaps for her brother. It's like her advice entered his left ear and went out instantly from the right. There's also the fact that Naruto often is boastful about his abilities, but his actions and achievement does not prove his own words. This only makes the classmates just think he's an annoying, obnoxious person. Tanya tried to hammer it down into Naruto's head that words have to match both his effort and result, and as much as she really wishes to see Naruto achieve great results and achievements, she does not put illogical expectations on him, and had assured him it's fine to do according to one's best abilities already, and she knows well what talent Naruto has and does not has. But somehow she felt like Naruto only ever gets angry at her. And perhaps there's some slight distance between them already. Tanya shook her head, erasing her thoughts and coming back to the main point. Hinata likes him. It works in her favor. I should ask Naruto to pay attention to Hinata more to consolidate the connection to the Hyuga clan, and my brother can also gain a proper friend. Maybe that can help him. After settling her thoughts, she returned her focus to class. Lunchtime comes finally. Nisan, join me and Hinata-san for lunch, Tanya called out to Naruto, who had just woken up from a nap in class. Okay. As Naruto sat down, his eyes widened seeing Hinata's bento that's filled with so many things. Shug. Naruto eyed Hinata's bento, prepared by chefs of the rich Hyuga clan. His own bento is simple, only having rice, grilled mackerel, and some sides of stir-fried veggies. Tanya is strict about budget after all. And then Naruto-kun. Why you can. Have th this. Hinata uses her chopstick to give Naruto a big shrimp tempura. Thank you, Hinata-chan. So good. Hinata blushed hard and seemingly about to faint. Hinata seemingly shrinked in size and is unable to talk anymore. Meanwhile, Naruto is oblivious and keeps eating. This won't work. Naruto finished eating and thanked Hinata and just stormed out of class to find a playmate outside. Hinata turned to normal again as she breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Tsuya-chan. Hinata said shyly. Oh! It was not futile after all. Of course. I support you and my brother. You two only need more time together. Hinata blushed, silently thanking Tsuyu for her acceptance and support over her feelings. By the way, Hinata-san, I have always been curious about Gentle Fist. I don't know if, with Tanya's scheme and effort over days, she finally gets Hinata to show her how she uses Gentle Fist and teaches Tsuyu the basics. To begin with, Gentle Fist only is useful with Byakugan that lets them target the exact Tenketsu point. If others use Gentle Fist, it won't be effective. That's also why Hinata doesn't feel anything wrong teaching Tsuyu, just to satisfy curiosity. Tanya also figured out along the way when she visited Hyuga clan to have tea with Hinata that she was already taught how to do water walking and tree walking. She is the heiress to the Hyuga clan, so her father is especially strict. Hyuga Hayashi also took interest in Tsuya. As the clan head, he knew Tsuyu is the daughter of the late fourth. He does not know about her status as Jinchuriki though. In fact, no one except Hokage and the Konoha Council knows Tsuyu is a Jinchuriki as well. Because having 9 tails split into 2 and then sealed into 2 twins is something too far-reaching. He knew from her daughter that Tsuyu is the class topper especially in taijutsu. He wanted to see it. Tsuyu-kun, I would like to know how far you are in taijutsu. We from the Hyuga clan pride ourselves as one of the clan best in taijutsu, and I would like to see your potential my daughter always speaks of. How about a little spar with me? Hayashi spoke with a calm smile. Cursed being X. Did I offend the Hyuga by being better than his daughter? He wants to beat me up? Tanya reluctantly agrees. Chapter 8. Raging Fist. Tanya agreed to the spar and followed Hayashi to the sparring room. Hinata sat down at the side, ready to observe their sparring. Hayashi performs the Gentle Fist stance, ready to engage with Tanya. I will not use chakra and Byakugan since it will be unfair to you. We will only spar using pure taijutsu. Tanya nods, also readying herself. Her stance is not eloquent like Hayashi, but it shows Tanya combat readiness that of a soldier. Begin. Hayashi rushed forward to strike with a gentle fish right towards Tanya's chest. But Tanya used her smaller size to maneuver and dodged to the side while landing a fist to Hayashi's stomach. Hayashi slapped it away with a gentle fist and continued his attacks. The two exchanged blows back and forth. Tanya received multiple hits here and there, but she is able to endure. Tanya in her past life mostly used ranged attacks after all, so Tanya fall into a major disadvantage. Her size, strength, and skill makes her to be no match for Hayashi. Hayashi ended the match as Tanya was hit on the chest and fell down. Damn. He's really ruthless. Tanya almost feels like she's fighting a life and death battle with how hard Hayashi hits. This can even consider child abuse. Hayashi is deeply shocked and honestly impressed. Setting aside the disadvantage because of age, her taijutsu skill itself is close to Chunin level. But what's more shocking is her battle intuition. If Hayashi has to say it, it's as if Tanya has a sense for battle akin to a jonin. Her reaction speed, her minute decision-making to strike, block, dodge, and even counter-attacking. And all her strikes are decisive and ruthless like that of a veteran shinobi ready to disable or kill. This is a demonic genius. Truly inherit the talent of her father, the late fourth Hokage. My daughter's words matched you. I have to agree you are indeed a genius. Tanya takes a deep breather before speaking. I do not deserve your praise, Hayashi-sama, she humbled herself. Hayashi nods, also feeling satisfied at Tanya's humbleness. Hinata, have you watched carefully? Hayashi specifically wished Hinata to learn Tanya's ruthlessness and decisiveness that his daughter lacks severely. Hinata nods, yes, father. She is a good example for you. I hope you two can learn from each other. Hayashi seemed to be in thought for a while. Seiyuu-kun, I see you have very high potential. Come with me, I may have something useful for you. Suyu feels surprised, but then it's replaced by elation. It's as if her effort bears fruit and she's about to eat it. Yes, Hayashi-sama. Suyu came into Hayashi's study room, where Hayashi went to pick up a scroll. He opened it, scanned it for a while, and gave it to Tsuya. This is a technique related to Gentle Fist, but it's not very suitable for our clansmen and pretty much abandoned in development. It requires, however, I believe you can put it to good use. I believe in your talent. Consider it as an investment to you. Suyu respectfully took it from his hand. Thank you very much, Hayashi-sama. I will always remember your favor, Suyu bowed respectfully. Hayashi dismissed Tanya from his office. He had the feeling that the daughter of Minato might even surpass himself someday. This can be a good thing for the Hyuga clan, and it doesn't cause him to lose anything. After having a cup of tea with Hinata and casual chat, Tsuyu returned to her home to freshen up and immediately went to study the scroll in her room. Raging Fist. The Gentle Fist releases precise chakra into the enemy's tenketsu, causing overflow and force chakra discharge. Internal force impacting, causing damage to surrounding tissues. Utilizing the same concept of tenketsu discharge when overflowed. It's possible to use the body tenketsu point where chakra is overflowed with control and released to cause force on impact. Tanya read with focus, sipping her coffee at times trying to digest the info. Hayashi is nice enough to also give supplementary material on chakra control and practice methods through tenketsu points and basic knowledge on chakra networks. Basically, she can overflow her tenketsu points in her punches, and the force of chakra explosion from discharge is added on top of her fist. This seems perfect for me. As for the caveat, disrupting normal flow, slowing down flow, consumes high amounts of chakra. Unable to overflow without greater chakra pressure to tenketsu with lesser chakra. However, disrupted chakra flow causes delay to use the next chakra discharge. Unsuitable for combat. May be suitable for those with a huge volume of chakra that allows reasonable pressure and volume of chakra to discharge while preventing the slowing down of chakra flow after use of chakra discharge. I see. That's why he thinks I am suitable for this. From Tanya's in-depth reading, she can tell this requires practice, especially on chakra control, just as much as Gentle Fist does. At the same time, you have to have a large chakra volume to use it effectively due to the jutsu inherent drawback on one's own chakra network. Hayashi, you gotta be kidding me. You are throwing such a gift. Tanya had a smile of happiness in her heart. If only all clan leaders are so generous to throw her gifts like this. She stretched a little and looked outside. The sun has already set. Tanya came out of her room and knocked on Naruto's. No one answered. Tanya opened the door, only to see a quite messy room, but Naruto's not there. She doesn't notice that Naruto hasn't come back after class. Well, he's not a kid anymore. He probably is outside playing or something. Tanya doesn't care much. She does feel that between him and Naruto, there's an unspoken distance over time. Maybe it's due to Naruto growing up? He's starting to be independent, Tanya believes, and doesn't think about it anymore. She planned out where to start on her practice with the newly acquired Raging Fist. I could copy them and give them to Naruto to try as well, in case he's talented in this. Naruto sat atop of Hokage Rock, watching the stars and the bright full moon above. Today is their birthday, actually. But Tsuchan never seems to remember. Nor care even if it's her own birthday. Besides, it's not a good day to celebrate. It's the anniversary of their parents' death, and the day Konoha was half destroyed by Kyuubi after all. Sniff. Naruto pulled his shirt, wiping a tear from his glistening eyes. He felt lonely. Dad. Mom. Why do you two have to go? I know Tsuchan is there, but it's just lonely. She's always outside. She's always busy, training. I know Tsuchan is so good to me, but she always lectures me, always telling me what to do. She never understands. She never gets it. And it hurts. She's so popular. She has so many friends. She is never interested in anything I do. She's so talented. While I am just me. It's so hard. Sniffs. And everyone treats her so kindly. While they always look at me like they hate me. I hate it. I don't get it. Why is it so unfair? It had been eating away at his heart. He tried to suppress it and forget about it. And on the surface, he kept his bubbly, cheery face around. But at times when he's left alone, or if he felt so down, he will always remember. Whenever he walks down the street by himself, he can see the gazes, the disgust, the looks in those people's eyes. And I see from afar how the same people look at Suchan. So many people want to befriend her. They are so nice to her. It's as if they're living in an entirely different world. Naruto pulled his shirt to wipe his tears that's falling. It hurts. Why can't I? I feel normal. Mom. Dad. Why do you have to go? Thud. 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 Tanya channels chakra through her tenketsu on her fist, overflowing them and throws a punch, discharges the excess chakra causing extensive force to the tree. The tree is filled with cracks and dents from Tanya's practice of Raging Fist. I need to drill this feeling into my bones to make it feel instinctual. And I have to input more chakra slowly without damaging my tenketsu. Thud. 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 Naruto watches from afar as Tsuyu practices in the forest. He felt the jealousy creeping up in his heart again, seeing how strong each of her fists are. It's as if Tsuyu is everything he had wanted to be but couldn't. He looks at the scrolls and notes Tsuyu gave him, and even if he understands, he just can't do it. Just what is wrong with me? Naruto felt his eyes reddening in frustration. Naruto turned around and stormed off, wanting to be alone again. HM? Tanya noticed Naruto went off. She doesn't mind him and continues her practice throughout the day. As an Uzumaki, her chakra can last the whole day training after all. Hokage office. Danzo tapped his cane, looking at Hiruzen. Hiruzen, I am sure you are taking a close observation of her. Hiruzen let out a puff of smoke. I do. She is a genius. Hiruzen spoke blandly. Danzo tapped his cane again. I had been given information she requested for an advanced course. Hiruzen, you shouldn't hold back such talent. You know Konoha is in a state of turmoil. It's only natural that Danzo. I have said it. We will not be letting anyone graduate early anymore. This is a time of peace, not war. How long do you think that will last? The other shinobi villages are eyeing us and they would take any chance to take advantage of our situation. And right now with the Uchiha plotting something, I cannot take any more risk and we need more backup plans for the future. Backup plan? She is just a child, Hiruzen said coldly. She's not just any child. She's a Jinchuriki that had genius exceeding even that of Minato. You are wasting her potential. Imagine if she is able to control the Nine Tails. This will secure Enough. She is a child and supposed to stay in the academy until she's old enough. That's that. Danzo grumbled in anger. Your indecision will be Konoha's undoing. Hiruzen. Danzo walked into the dark and disappeared. Hiruzen sighed and let out another puff of smoke. He watched Tanya through his crystal ball, seeing her excellence as her punches landed on the tree trunk causing splinter and holes. He's afraid a fire that's too bright would burn itself. And there's the Uchiha. He's afraid if they really go for the rebellion, this will cause significant losses and Danzo's worries are grounded on worst-case scenarios. Sigh. What should I do? Chapter 9, Uchiha. Uchiha District. Sasuke returns from the academy after class finishes. Damn it. Sasuke feels down, because in the latest exam he does not get first in half of the subjects. He wants to be as good as his brother, and also wishes his father would praise him and acknowledge his talent. Not to mention, he had led a person with no background, no resource, or help achieve great results from hard work and talent alone. Compared to himself that had everything, it's not acceptable for his pride to accept it. He feels like he had failed to uphold the pride of the Uchiha, supposedly the best and strongest clan in Konoha. Sasuke returns home, sulking about his latest exam result. I am home, Sasuke says blandly as he takes off his shoes and steps inside his home. While he's sulking, suddenly he felt a flick onto his forehead. NH. Welcome home, Sasuke. Itachi gave a smile to his little brother. He had just come back after completing a mission and had free time to finally fulfill his promise to train Sasuke. Sasuke's mood and eyes brighten up in an instant. Ni-san, you're home. Aren't you tired from class, Sasuke? You should take a rest first. No, I am not. Please teach me Ai-san. I want to be better than her. Sasuke is quite giddy and desperate. Itachi smirked slightly. Okay, let's go to the training compound then. I am quite curious to meet this Tsuyu you always mention really. Sasuke pouted. He doesn't want his brother to suddenly take interest in someone who's not himself. Humph. She's dash. Sasuke wants to say something bad and mock her like he always did to her twin brother, but somehow he really has no words to say. Whatever. I will be better than her, especially once I have my Sharingan. Sasuke really hopes to awaken Sharingan soon, and with it he is sure he can beat Tsuya. Sasuke, Itachi, I made desserts. Don't you two want to eat first? It's rare Itachi comes home. Makoto's wife comes out of the kitchen to see them. Later, Mom. I want to train with Ai-san first. Sasuke pulled Itachi with him. Makoto just smiles watching them leave. In the Uchiha training compound, Itachi shows Sasuke his Shuriken Jutsu and sparred with him in Taijutsu. Sasuke has determination in his eyes, wanting to become better. Ni-san, don't hold back against me, Sasuke said as he feels Itachi is going easy on him in the sparring. But you might get hurt. I want to be strong. I will not improve if you keep holding back. Very well. The two exchanged blow to blow. Sasuke is very persistent and stands up even when he's beaten down. I can still keep going. Huh. Ai-san. Itachi sighed with a smile. That's enough, Sasuke. You need rest now. But Itachi flicked his forehead. Ouch! N&H. Sasuke pouted. Come on. Let's take a walk around Market Street. It's been some time since I went there. What do you think, Sasuke? Sasuke's eyes brighten up. He feels happy to hang out with his brother. The two went out of the Uchiha clan area and the commercial street. Even if the sun has already set, the market is lively and busy. Sasuke got himself onigiri and takoyaki, loving every single second of the hangout. Huh. Sasuke's eyes darted to two familiar figures. Itachi also recognized the two. Naruto Uzumaki, the Jinchuriki of 9 Tails, and Tsuya Uzumaki, his twin sister. The two also happened to go around to get food. Tanya noticed Naruto seems a little off these days. Or maybe it's her imagination. It's not like she can understand what's really going on in Naruto's mind. So she decided to bring him out and let him spend a little more for luxury, which as usual makes Naruto happy again. Their eyes met, and Tsuyu gave a polite smile to the two. What a coincidence to meet you, Sasuke-san. And this is? Tsuyu is polite and greets Sasuke like a classmate would. To be honest, Tanya feels like trying to make a good connection with Sasuke and in turn the Uchiha clan is the hardest compared to others. Sasuke is so unfriendly to her for no reason. She is certain she did everything correctly, praising his skills when it's due, giving respect to his clan name, and never had once she done anything to cause a bad impression. The only thing she can attribute the bitterness to is his pride as Uchiha, and she's not sure how to tackle this problem exactly. Sasuke, at first having a bitter, annoyed expression, suddenly had a smug expression as if showing off. This is my brother Itachi. He graduated from the academy at just 7 years old. And he becomes Chunin at 10. He's a genius and the pride of our Uchiha. Tanya can almost see Sasuke's ego inflating as he describes his brother. But she has to admit, she's impressed. She looks up to geniuses as for her they are epitome of what a human can do. You must beat Tsuyu. My little brother mentioned you at times. Sasuke's face blushed from embarrassment. And Ni-san. I never mentioned her. Itachi chuckles slightly, finding it amusing. Maybe his little brother had a strange liking for Tsuyu, who knows? It's nice to meet you, Itachi-san. I have heard about your achievement before. The Uchiha clan really deserve its reputation with a genius like you, Tsuyu said politely. You are very polite and very mature too. Sasuke can learn a lot from you, Itachi smiled. Sasuke pouted at the side, feeling a little dissatisfied at the statement. Itachi then turned to Naruto, who had been just looking at them since earlier. And you must be Naruto. Sasuke mentioned you too. Yeah? Why yes. I am Naruto. Oi Sasuke. What did you say about me? Naruto felt Sasuke definitely talked about him. Huh? Of course it's how. Immature, you are. Dope, Sasuke said mockingly. What did you say? At least I am not so smug and so proud all the time. Naruto, give respect to your classmate. Tanya glared coldly at Naruto. Why is he offending the Uchiha clan? Didn't he realize that they're the sons of Uchiha clan's patriarch? Sasuke, he's a friend. You shouldn't belittle them. In the future, he will be your comrade and work together. Itachi also reprimands Sasuke. Tanya and Itachi look at each other as if in understanding. I am sorry for my brother's words. I hope you can excuse his brashness. No. It's my little brother that starts it first. I should have taught him better. Both Naruto and Sasuke pouted. Itachi chuckled, thinking it's quite cute. If you two have not had dinner, how about we get them together? Itachi suggested. Naruto and Sasuke definitely disliked the idea, but had to follow them and ate dinner at a popular izakaya. Seiyu takes the chance to ask Itachi about ANBU and its general structure and work. Itachi is the first person she knew who is in the ANBU organization after all. So ANBU is under directive of Hokage and the advisors, working for the village. Rank in the ANBU is determined by merits, and even a genin, if they have special skills, can be recommended into the rank. This means contribution is directly seen by the higher up. If regular shinobi are mercenaries that keep the economy of the village running in this peacetime, the truly important tasks for the village are assigned to the ANBU. Also, given the secrecy, the chances of getting hands on techniques and jutsu not available at the exchange center is also higher. And the mentor I would have should be more likely to have better resources, especially with direct attention from Hokage himself. Unless there's war, the right way to get merit and resources is being an ANBU. Seiyu already planned her career path once she graduated. Although, from Itachi's words, you have to be recommended to get into ANBU unit. But she at least is certain at her performance she will be able to get in. Thank you for sharing your experience, Itachi-san. I highly appreciate it. No problem. But being an ANBU also means you cannot plan your own free time. I wish I could visit home more. Itachi ruffled Sasuke's hair. Naruto doesn't talk much because Itachi is a little too serious in personality, much like his twin sister. While he doesn't like Sasuke. The four people finally finish dinner and head back home. Naruto walks grumpily with hands in his pocket, feeling tired of the awkward dinner. Meanwhile, Tsuyu feels great at being able to talk to Itachi, a genius of Konoha. Her mood is quite good. Itachi returned home and headed to bed after washing up. His mind returned to what Shui had wanted of him, to how he observes his clansmen wanting to stage a coup. Meanwhile, the higher-ups had already known of it. Is it the only way? Shui, will it be the right choice? The day of the massacre is coming. Chapter 10, Itachi's Choice. Under the reflection of the mirror, the Mangekyo Sharingan in his eyes represents his inner turmoil. His clansman doesn't trust him anymore, even suspecting that he's the cause of Shusui's suicide. While the coup is postponed, he knows it will soon happen. He will have to report this to Hokage. He just wished there's other ways. Itachi takes a walk around Konoha, wanting to get fresh air. He doesn't feel well staying inside the Uchiha compound. As he walked around the perimeter of Konoha, he didn't notice he had walked to the end of the village, where the forest lies. He was about to turn around, but noticed some sounds further away. Thud, thud, thud. Itachi gets curious and even suspicious and thus went to take a look. He's surprised to see it's someone still training even after the sun had set. Using body flicker, landing kicks and punches, throwing shuriken in between the flicker. Upon closer look, he figured out it's Tsuyu Uzumaki. Tsuyu stopped her training for a second to take a breather. She turned her head to see who's watching her. She had noticed Itachi's presence far earlier. Itachi-san? Tanya wiped the sweat on her forehead. Itachi ends up observing and giving Tsuyu direction as she practices. He just wants to clear his mind meanwhile. Itachi-san, you seem to be distracted. If it's not too personal, I can offer a listening ear. How to Make People Like You 101 by Carl Smith. Number 1. Listen more. Itachi's gaze returned to Tsuyu for a while. He's not sure why he felt like saying this to Tsuyu, but he felt she is intelligent and perhaps he sees her as an adult like himself and can understand. Tsuyu-kun, if you had to choose between the village or your family, what would you do? Gem. What a strange question. Perhaps he is testing me to see where I stand as a shinobi. Itachi-san, your question is very complex. I believe it's not simple. But as a shinobi of Konoha, I will place Konoha's interest as priority. The village is the system in place to keep order and peace, protecting the families under it. The village stability is a part of the family's interest and therefore, prioritizing my village is also for the families and would always take precedence. Then what if you have to sacrifice your own for the sake of the village? Itachi-san. If it has nothing to do with her, she could care less about what's sacrificed as long as she and what she deemed important benefits from the system in place the village of Konoha. It may not sound shinobi-like for me to say this, so I hope you can keep it a secret. But I will give you my honest thoughts. I see you love your little brother much. And I cherished my brother as well, so I can understand. They are our families. Itachi turned his focus to Tanya. The village exists because of the families in it. And every family's interest is to have their peace and safety ensured. This is why the village was established by the first Hokage to begin with, and why the clans agreed to join together as Konoha today. If I have to sacrifice my own family and those I deem important for the village as a whole, the village, the system, would then have already failed its intended purpose already. A flawed system that does not align with any of my interests and even takes things away from me is not worth the sacrifice or loyalty. I see. Itachi digested Tsuyu's words carefully. It's as if he had some revelation, even if he felt uncomfortable hearing the bitter truth from Tsuyu's words. That the village of Konoha had in fact failed the Uchiha clan. Even when Uchiha is one of the founders of the village, they are treated like an outcast by the higher-ups, placed at the edge of the village and always under observation and distrust. Uchiha still deserves the treatment like other clans. A part of Itachi believes in the will of fire and wants to carry Shirsue's will. But Tanya's words cause a slight shift inside of him. I will find another way. For both Konoha and my own family. Itachi clenched his fist. Itachi firms his resolve. He will talk to his clansmen and Hokage tomorrow, as he has decided what he will do. Thank you for your honesty, Tsuyu-kun. I have to admit, I cannot find flaws in your words. It's just my honest opinion, Itachi-san. It's getting late. It's nice to be able to talk to you, Tsuyu-kun. It's a pleasure for me as well. Uchiha District, Fugaku's reading room. Father. Fugaku drops the scroll he's reading, turning his gaze to his son. Please talk to the clansmen. The coup will fail, and it will only cause unnecessary sacrifice. The Hokage and higher-ups are already onto us. Fugaku sighed. I have already tried, but you know how the village had been oppressing our clan. Father, the third had ordered me to exterminate the clan before the coup happens. Fugaku clenched his fist, crumpling the scroll in his hand. He gritted his teeth, but soon returned to his calm demeanor. I see. So, the relationship between us is irreconcilable. I don't blame you, Itachi. Even if I am disappointed that you act as the spy for them. It would still be inevitable, regardless. I am sorry, father. I disappointed you. Fugaku raised his hand, dismissing Itachi. The Uchiha HSA to compromise and lose this time. This is the only way for the clan to survive. I will talk to the Hokage. Thank you for telling me and trusting me to make a decision for all of us, Itachi. Fugaku entered the Hokage office, facing Hiruzen with a calm face, but there's hint of resignation in his eyes. I already know about your decision, but I hope you can reconsider. Is this a threat, Fugaku? Hiruzen let out a puff of smoke coldly. No. It's a consideration. Fugaku gave Hiruzen a scroll. It contains the lists of all Uchiha hardliners who supported and wanted rebellion. It consists of 2/3 of the Uchiha clans excluding the children and the olds, compiled by Itachi and Fugaku. If there's really no choice, I hope you can reconsider, Sandaime-sama. Fugaku bowed his head down. I understand. Fugaku, your clan's sacrifice will be remembered. You will always be a part of Konoha. Yes, Sandaime-sama. In the next few days, Fugaku finally received the order from above. He announced a clan meeting, inviting everyone in the clan. Hokage-sama had assigned us a very important mission. It is up to the Uchiha clan to complete the mission and to gain their trust towards us. This is a chance given to us to fulfill and ease our relationship. Whispers and murmurs sounded, as if thinking it wouldn't matter even if they did a good job. Some even suspect something is off already. The mission detail is of high secrecy, and I will personally select those I find qualified. Fugaku then listed them one by one. But as the list goes on, it's clear that it's filled with their most talented Uchiha. That's also a hardliner that supports the rebellion. Meanwhile, the ones that aren't are not in the list. One of the elders stood angrily, shouting, Fugaku, are you selling out your own clansmen? He pointed at Fugaku with rage. Fugaku-sama, please reconsider. This is definitely a trap, one of the Uchiha selected voiced out with anxiety. Fugaku's fist clenched tight, trembling. His eyes bloodshot from frustration. Silence. Fugaku opened his Mangekyo Sharingan, sending cold and heavy aura pressing down to everyone, shutting them up. Mangekyo. That's. This is for the good of Uchiha. Those listed, you are to stay temporarily at the left wing of the clan compound. This is an order. Refusal to follow orders is considered as treason, and I will personally execute them on the spot. One of the hardliners stood. Fugaku-sama, please reconsider. With the Mangekyo, no one in Konoha is a match for us. Fugaku felt his head bursting with anger. It's as if these fools can't see how futile it is. The rebellion is doomed from the very start. The elder, finding Fugaku having Mangekyo, gets angrier. Fugaku, if you aren't such a coward, why would our clan step down to such a level now? You are no longer fit to be the clan patriarch. The old man's Sharingan opened up, openly challenging Fugaku's authority. Some of the Uchihas also stood up, each of them opening their Sharingan and emitting a killing intent. An infighting is about to happen. You don't de-stash. Fugaku had enough. Amaterasu. One of Fugaku's eyes bled, and an intense black flame appeared and burned the flesh of the elder starting from his feet. Stop. Everyone watched in horror as the smell of burnt flesh and sight of dark flame consumed the old man. The screams of his agony did not stop for seconds. The corpse turned to char, and with Fugaku's wave of hand the black flame dispersed instantly. Anyone who disobeys is treason, Fugaku said resolutely. Fugaku returned to his study, feeling his knees weak. He collapses on his chair, letting out a sigh of relief. It's all over. Itachi came to his side, feeling proud for his father for the first time. The two are silent, but both of them had an acknowledgement to each other that it's the best choice of action for the clan to survive. Chapter 11. Premonition. Half-black, half-white figure with aloe vera-like structures appear from the ground. He faced the man wearing a spiral mask with only one eye exposed. Toby, it seems the massacre won't happen as you expected. Toby has a calm expression when he hears the news. Itachi had a change of heart, I see. While he didn't expect the sudden change, he never really trusted others to do a job he intended. So, it doesn't matter. No matter. I have my own arrangement. Tell me what you know. Zetsu tells him the movements of the Uchiha, how a lot of them moved to the west side of the Uchiha district. He also mentioned the number of guards and patrols around, including A and BU stationed. Toby nods. Space fluctuated from his left eye as he disappeared into the Kamui dimension. He reappears inside Konoha, sitting on top of a transmission pole overseeing the Uchiha district. He figured the location and once again disappeared and reappeared at the current secret gathering of the Uchiha hardliners. The few elders and younger Uchiha clansmen who were listed to be sent off on a classified mission sat together, discussing what they can do. They know the mission could be a cover for their apparent accidents, or it's a threat from the higher-ups. Suddenly, a fluctuation in space appears, and out of nowhere, a figure with a spiral mask with a single Sharingan in his left eye appears. The Uchihas are all surprised and instantly get into a defensive position with Sharingan opened. They can feel a strong chilling aura coming from the man, that he is a dangerous person and coming with bad intentions. Who are you? One of the elders steps forward, his Sharingan staring right at the mysterious man's eye. Toby thought for a second, and he decides he will cosplay as Madara this time. I see the younger generations have forgotten me. And to think the Uchiha clan stoop so low to this level. I was right to leave all along. Foolish clansmen, the cold condescending voice sent chills down to everyone's spine. Madara's left eye turned into his Mangekyo pattern, letting out a heavy pressure on all of them. And Mangekyo. Younger generations, the Uchihas murmurs and questions. And there's only one figure that they can think of as to who the masked man is. No way. Toby smirked behind the mask. Indeed. I am, Uchiha, Madara, Toby said in a deep voice. Gasp. Everyone in the room takes a gasping breath, bewildered from the revelation. I am here to offer my help. Madara raises his hands, as if calling out to the clansmen. I had given up on my clansmen before, but seeing you all here, I see each and all of you have the courage that we, the Uchiha, are supposed to have. I had trusted Hashirama and to. Madara yaps about history, making a sad backstory for himself and how his clansmen betrayed him. How Konoha, the village he founded with Hashirama, turned their back on the Uchiha clan simply because they feared the Uchiha's power. And he stated the obvious decline of Uchiha from the founding of the village till now. I will provide my help to your endeavor, for the glory of Uchiha, Madara spoke with vigor. The clansmen in the room are all agitated with bloodlust in their eyes from Madara's speech, their Sharingan spinning rapidly from sheer excitement to fight for the glory of the Uchiha. Ready to sacrifice and be a martyr in Uchiha's name. For Uchiha, everyone screams like they have lost their mind. For Uchiha. For Uchiha. Truly. What a fool. Too easy to be manipulated and lose their minds from emotions. Toby thought in disdain, seeing the crazed expression on each of their faces. Toby planned to help them stall Fugaku and Itachi, since the two had Mangekyo and these weaklings couldn't possibly do that. He believes just the chaos ensued would push the massacre entirely. But just then, a frail elder with bloodshot eyes spoke with vigor. Madara-sama, I have a suggestion. What suggestion can these fools give? Madara-sama, I had witnessed your battle when I was a child. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Let's unleash the Nine Tails. We will use this chance to take over Konoha and show the power of the Uchiha. Cough, the old man's cane is shaking with excitement. The old man, despite his old frail body, almost stood upright as if wanting to see the power of Madara once more. Somehow, everyone missed the part where, if the Madara in front of them can unleash Nine Tails, it means the Knight of Kyuubi attack might as well be his own doing. But their crazy bloodlust clouded their brain. Toby is taken aback, but then he realizes that's not a bad idea at all. He hasn't thought about it. But over these 7 years, since he planned to capture the Bijus, he had learned various sealing methods trying to find good unsealing jutsu. And while he hasn't found something that can just unseal a Bija easily and directly on his own, he did have something to temporarily weaken the seal. Coupled with his Mangekyo Genjutsu, it should work to cause Nine Tails to rampage for a while and cause chaos. It is already in my plan, Toby said with a proud voice. Sasuga Madara-sama, the elder said with fanaticism. I will go get the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Prepare for battle, my clansmen. With that, Toby disappears and reappears right inside Naruto's room. The full moon is bright tonight. Naruto is sleeping soundly, sprawled on bed with no care in the world. Toby walks step by step towards Naruto, observing the 7 to 8 years old boy. It seems your son has grown up well, Minato. But your mistake is trusting Kyuubi into such a boy, consumed by loneliness and hated by everyone. You made it easier for me. Toby's hand reached out to him, as space fluctuation pulled Naruto into the Kamui space without anyone noticing. Kyuubi felt the presence of the damn bastard that had controlled him 7 years ago. That Uchiha bastard. My other half. Kyuubi clawed at his cage with uncontrolled rage. His anger caused evil chakra to leak, waking Tanya up. Gasp. Tanya woke with cold sweat. She's drenched all over, and she felt extremely bad, extremely, extremely bad. His abdomen felt heavy especially. What's going on? Why does it feel so heavy? Naruto. Tanya went out of her bed quickly and rushed out of the door and into Naruto's room. Naruto is missing. Tanya quickly looked outside, then at the clock. It's 3:14 a.m. Where did he go? Tanya quickly rushed out of their home, calling out for Naruto. Naruto, where are you? She felt as if something bad is going to happen. Naruto is not just anyone, but it's someone who she had raised and seen growing since his infancy for 7 whole years. The ANBU who's keeping watch on both Tanya and Naruto finally gets on alert. He's not that focused since Naruto and Tanya is sleeping and it's in the middle of the night, but when he finally realized Naruto disappeared without him realizing at all, he felt panic as well. Oh no! Hokage office. Hiruzen had just received a report from the ANBU that there's an alarming movement among the Uchihas that's listed as rebels, that this time it's not just gathering, but there's screams among them, and they had taken up arms. Hiruzen stood from his bed and took on his Hokage attire, ready to stop them and call the ANBU teams. He's afraid Danzo, too, is already onto it. He's afraid the massacre will still happen if they let the rebels do something to harm the village, even if the damage is insignificant due to their smaller forces. And if Danzo decides to take his own initiative to kill the clan, he could not answer to Fugaku and Itachi. But just then, another ANBU came in with a report. He is gasping for air as if he's rushed as fast as possible to him. Sandaime-sama. It's urgent. The Jinchuriki is missing. Jinchuriki. Sia. Naruto, Hiruzen almost have a heart attack hearing that, breaking out a cold sweat. Only Naruto, Sandaime-sama. Suyu is currently looking for him around the village. Hiruzen clenched his fist. He felt a bad premonition. You, take care of Tsuya. I am afraid something will happen tonight. Alert all the forces. Ready to sound the alarm and prepare for the worst. Yes, Sandaime-sama. Kakashi, lead your team to find Naruto. Possibly. At the Uchiha. Hiruzen gritted his teeth as he said that. As much as he wants to believe in peace with the Uchiha, perhaps, Danzo is right about them. That the Nine Tails attack back then is caused by them. Kakashi, who's a shadow guard and had been listening from earlier, appears. He nods and immediately disappears to find Naruto. Minato-sensei. I will protect your son. Kakashi clenched his fist. He hopes it's not too late. Chapter 12, Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto wakes up half sleepily, only to find himself suddenly outside at an unfamiliar place, on a roof of a building close to Uchiha District, but approaching more towards the center of the village. H-huh, who are you? Naruto looks at the masked man, feeling scared. Uzumaki Naruto. It must have been difficult for you. Tobi raises his hand and places it on Naruto's head. Huh. Do you know why you are lonely, Naruto? Tobi asked in his cold voice. The pain in your heart. Poor child. Tobi felt like playing a little game. Tobi used his Mangekyo to delve into Naruto's mind. Why don't I have parents? I feel so lonely. It's so hard. Tears fell from Naruto's eyes. Don't come near him. Leave. You monster. Sorry, my dad doesn't want me to play with you. Naruto sat in the dark, cold corner, holding his knees. Tears fell, dripping down from his eye across his face, down to his chin. His stomach is shaking as he sobs continuously, with no one patting his back or telling him it will be fine. It's so cold. He wished he could have hands that would embrace him, that would teach him warmth. It's so heavy. The tears keep falling as he hears the cruel words thrown at him. What a troublesome kid. He really is up to no good. Get out of my store, you freak. Naruto's vision went blurry. He looked down at his own shaking hands. The tears filled his hands, forming puddles representing his sadness and loneliness. He watched himself from the dark corner, seeing the image of him seeking connection and any warmth from anyone. Not any. Can I play with you? Hey, I like that manga too. Let's practice together. Ha ha ha. You are so funny. I know a joke too. Hey, I know, I know. Naruto gives his best smile, wanting connection badly. Naruto watches as each of them leave one by one, refusing him. So annoying. Weird. Why he acts so familiar with us. He really craves attention. Naruto-kun. I don't think we are that familiar. Naruto's smile slowly faded. He's left all alone. Just then, he felt someone behind him. Su-chan. Naruto walked forward to reach out to her. Nisan, you shouldn't be a pushover. Try to take it slow. Huh? Words don't affect you. Only if you give those words power it hurts. Besides, you have me, no need to care about what they say. Su-chan. You don't get it. Nisan, your posture is wrong. It's like this. You have to use your lower body as well. Get it? No. I don't need you to teach or order me, Su-chan. Nisan, everyone has their own strength and weakness. We should be realistic in our goals. Su-chan, I can do it. I really can. Why don't you believe me? Nisan, of course I care. You are my brother after all. You never had once hugged me, Su-chan. You never had once tell me you understand. You don't. In his vision, Tsuyu just turned around and kept walking away. Su-chan. Wait. Naruto sees people around Tsuyu. Tsuyu-chan, do you know how to solve this problem? Tsuyu-kun, me and Sakura want to get the viral dango. Want to come along? Tsuyu-chan, you are so cool. I admit you are strong, but I won't let you beat me next time. Tsuyu-chan. Hi, Lian, never mind. Era. Tsuyu-chan. You are here again. Here Auntie will give an extra piece. Naruto's step slows down as he sees the scene, watching his twin sister leaving him behind farther and farther away. Su-chan, please. Tears fell down from his eyes. The brightness in his eyes faded, as if the only person he had left is gone, leaving him all alone. NNH. It's so unfair. NNH. Why do they hate me? What did I do so wrong? Why? Naruto fell to his knees, punching the ground over and over again. Naruto screamed in agony and despair. Why? It's unfair. Hatred, jealousy, despair, everything. The red moon with 3 tomos spun. The silhouette of people hating and mocking him surrounds him. Naruto gritted his teeth from hatred and grief deep inside his heart. Do you hate them? Tobi's deep voice sounded in Naruto's mind. Red evil chakra leaks out of him. His red demon eyes shed tears of pain and hurt. Naruto finds himself in a gloomy, cold space. In front of him a tall giant red gate stands. Red chakra leaks out from the gaps. But it's not enough, Tobi thought. Tobi uses this chance to pry the seal slightly, just for a second to let the chakra leak out enough for that moment. Fuinjutsu, reverse sealing. Tobi went forward and slammed the gate. A gap in the seal appears. The water beneath Naruto's feet rises until he feels himself drowning. Tobi smiled behind his mask, smiling. 9 tails. Inside of me. The evil eyes stare down at him, the claws scratching the gates, as if wanting to shred him and Tobi behind him. Naruto finds out about the horrifying truth, the true cause of his suffering, completely breaking the last shred of his mental resistance. Boom! Blast of evil chakra exploded from Naruto's body. The shockwave causes the ground to tremble. 1 tail. 2. 3. 6 tails. The red chakra consumes and burns his skin, bubbles of blood vaporized from his body. His entire body deformed. Bones start to form out of his body. His mind is no longer in control of himself, but hatred and pain. The ground starts to crumble due to chakra pressure alone. Roar! The sound of Kyuubi roar shocked the entire village wake. Code Red. Code Red. The ANVU observing the Uchiha felt the distinct Kyuubi chakra and immediately notified his teammates. He fired a red flare to the sky. Clang! 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 The sound of alarm blared throughout the village. All ANVU units not in shifts start to wake up and prepare themselves. Every shinobi woke up and each of them evacuated their own family first and foremost. Danzo comes running to Hokage office, finding Hiruzen already geared up for battle. Hiruzen, I already told you. The Uchiha has done it again. Silence. It's no use to talk about it now. I am going. Hiruzen flickered out and disappears. Hiruzen asks the Hyuga next to him as he's rushing to the source of the evil chakra. What's the situation? The seal is not broken completely. It's a partial transformation. Hiruzen at least feels glad it hasn't gotten to the worst point yet. Damn it. Naruto isn't here. Kakashi curses as he and his teammates hear the roar of Kyuubi outside of the district. They had gone around the Uchiha district amidst the internal fighting that's going on with a Hyuga teammate to find Naruto. Itachi, Fugaku, the ANVUs and the others are fighting the crazy rebels Uchiha right now. Sasuke is taken outside of Uchiha district by his brother after knowing the rebels dare to take up arms. Not wanting Sasuke to know what's happening. Blood spilled inside the clan as the two sides exchange blows. Fugaku and Itachi do not want to reveal their Mangekyo, afraid that this will cause an inevitable massacre of their clan. But never in their imagination would someone unleash Nine Tails' power. Sasuke outside is feeling anxious. But after a while, he suddenly felt terrible evil energy causing pressure and fear in him. And along with it a roar of a raging beast. Red flares turn the sky red. The sound of alarm incite fear in Sasuke. Nisan. I am scared. Sasuke is about to return back to Uchiha district, but a nearby shinobi coming to evacuate the civilians sees Sasuke and snatch him. Come with me. It's not safe. But and I-san. Your brother will be safe all right. Hearing the roaring sound and feeling the familiar evil aura from the direction, Tanya had a guess in her heart. This felt familiar like the day she was born. No. How can this be? Naruto. Badump. Ku. Tanya, the pressure in her abdomen intensified, as if a resonance is caused by the source of the evil chakra. Badump. Tanya felt herself pulled in by some force. Her consciousness felt like floating. Tanya suddenly finds herself in an unfamiliar space. Tanya looks around. It's an open space, the familiar smell of gunpowder and sulfur. The battlefield. Though there's only grass and brown dirt, with nothing else. But as she walks further, she finds herself looking down at a trench. A trench that's very deep as if it has no end. She can't help it but come down, as if she knows something is there. Behind the darkness lies a tall red gate. Tanya's eyes widened in shock, seeing it again after 7 years. Nine Tails, Tanya murmured. Kyuubi locked his eyes with Tanya. He bared his teeth and scratched the gates, prisoning him with anger and hatred. Chapter 13. Kyuubi. You brat. We finally met. The demonic deep voice sends chill down Tanya's spine. You are different from the rest. Kyuubi's hot breath filled with evil chakra hits Tanya's face as he speaks. While he only sees glimpses at times, it's enough to know the human in front of her is not quite normal. First thing is Tanya's abnormal intelligence. He can read and write, probably since her birth. Add to the fact that her spiritual power is greater than even Madara. It's as if the person standing in front of him had 2 lives behind him. Also, Tanya is unaware that being X trying to always convert her in past life improved her spiritual power. It's a god trying to cast genjutsu onto her after all, and Tanya resisted it. There's something amiss when he sees Tanya's usual life. Reading books, drinking coffee, training. It's like the person in front of him has figured out her way of life completely from birth. In Kyuubi's imagination, supposedly, she is born an orphan and should at least look depressed and lonely like the other brat. And had stupid dreams. Kyuubi can't understand her. He can tell it will be very difficult to control her or manipulate her. It will be very difficult to use hatred or pain to control Tanya, and even if he could, Tanya had too much spiritual power and could resist. The only chance he has to make the brat hateful and angry is if he can make her life a living hell entirely and use Naruto to achieve that. But he cannot do that himself. His only bet is hoping his other half to escape and get him out of this bizarre brat. Or for the brat's brother to get into enough trouble for Tanya to have hatred and pain inside her that he can use. What are you? Kyuubi asked an honest question. Tanya looks at Kyubi warily. She did feel fear for her life at first, but upon closer inspection and further deduction, she can conclude it's safe for now. She almost forgot the creature even existed inside of her since it was so silent for 7 years. Add to the fact that Kyubi can, in fact, communicate like a normal human being. This also makes it different as to how Tanya would approach the monster. To answer your question, I am Tsuya Uzumaki. Tanya replied calmly, with no hint of emotions, wanting to see how far they can communicate. I know that, brat. Are you mocking me? Clang. He branded his claws against the cage. You have been watching me. Kyubi is silent. He doesn't know how to deal with this abnormal brat. She can even speak calmly in front of me. The feared Kyubi. I should be feared. She should have cowered. Tanya assumes it's a yes, otherwise how would Kyubi know of her name? I am Kyubi, the nine-tailed monster, the embodiment of hatred. I cause destruction and death. Kyubi slammed the gate with his claws, causing deep marks on them. He had a sinister grin as he watched Tanya. He will plant the seed of hatred inside of her. I was there when you were born. Your father. Your mother. I can still feel their flesh and blood when I pierce them with my very claw. Ha 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 ha. Kyubi let out an evil laughter. And I will kill you the same. Grr. Kyubi let out a low demonic roar. That's quite disturbing. Is this fox a sociopath? The type that finds pleasure in killing? Or it's angry at something? Tanya had never taken her parents' death personally though, so she doesn't feel much. But having a sociopathic monster inside her body that finds pleasure in killing purely, it is definitely a no-no. If the fox is just angry and had mental issues coming from somewhere, she could mediate, she believes. Tanya thought for a second before taking a deep breath. Kyubi-san, I personally do not take offense to what has happened. As for my parents, I never knew them. Tanya made a gesture as if dismissing the death of her parents as something trivial, and she had let it go. So, I believe we both can communicate, and we can talk on a common ground. I presume you had your own reason for your actions, and I am not the kind to judge without knowing the full information, Tanya said calmly. Kyubi is taken aback by the response, almost choking on words to say. He feels like he's talking to a demon in human skin. Don't you care that you are raised a lonely brat, an orphan with no one? That I had killed the very person who gives birth to you? Kyubi's big face is pressing against the red cage, glaring at Tanya. He is unconvinced and cannot accept Tanya's response. I do not feel lonely. I do have people around me. Tanya is honest on this one. And I really do not take it personally regarding my parents' death. I am willing to let it go. We should be able to communicate. After all, you're living inside of me. We will be meeting a lot from now on. I don't want to be on bad terms with you, nor do I have a reason to. She is not immature nor childish, and won't let emotions take precedence. She does feel dissatisfied that the fox killed her parents since she could have had wealth, status, and even the teleportation jutsu her dad had used. But for her, the events back then are something she cannot control anyways. Kyubi, although surprised, perhaps disturbed at the eerily calm conversation, kept his pride and didn't want to show weakness. Communicate? With a human? I would never. You humans only ever see us as weapons, as a slave to your greed. I would never stoop so low to communicate with you humans. I will never accept it. Kyubi once again slammed his claws at the gates and gnashed his teeth. What is wrong with this fox? I am sure this is their first proper meeting. And what others did never concerned her to begin with. I never asked my father to put him inside of me, and I never wanted it. If he wants to blame anyone, blame that guy. Placing anger and blame on someone innocent achieves nothing. Tanya takes another deep breath, trying to form the right words. Kyubi-san, I want you to know I mean no harm and have no interest nor vendetta against you. Perhaps we both can find what is best for both of us. Tanya added the honorific because he wants to acknowledge and show respect like any other person. Kyubi roared to Tanya's face, making Tanya squeeze her face for a second. She wiped the saliva splattered on her cheek, her face frowning, feeling a little disgusted. Liar. You humans are deceiving. I have seen it all. I won't believe it, Kyubi said in anger. though a part of him felt a weird kind of acceptance for a moment because Tanya added an honorific and had been talking to him properly since the beginning. And it's as if she is really considering him. Though he quickly denied himself due to his hatred and pride. Tanya is thinking at the moment, but she remembered something far more important than confronting this emotionally constipated foxilla. The sudden meeting with this fox makes her forget the immediate emergency. Naruto. Tanya felt worried for Naruto's safety. If her guess is correct, somehow the QB inside of him manages to get out. She has to get out of this place quickly. QB can sense what Tanya is thinking and just kick her out of this subconscious space, not wanting to waste his time talking with the weird human. Or so he tried, but Tanya wouldn't budge. Her spiritual power is too overwhelming, damn it. QB cursed. Tanya felt some kind of force tugging her to a certain way outside. She supposes it's the way out. I will come back to talk to you, QB-san, Tanya said calmly as her consciousness returned to her body. Don't come back. RHH-. QB roared. Tanya didn't even bother to stay until his roar was finished and leave midway. QB slammed the gate in frustration over and over again. Her consciousness returns to the body. She felt disoriented at first, but regained her senses. She looks again at the direction, feeling the evil energy. The alarms sounded all over, and the red flare painted the night like it's hell coming to earth. Naruto. Tanya bit her lips in frustration. She is unsure if she can do anything to help Naruto. She has no power right now. But she needs to go there. It is her responsibility. He is my brother. Tanya ran off towards the direction. She saw shinobis and masked Anbu started to guide the others away from the scene. Some screaming QB is attacking, panicking as they run in fear. Tanya sees a woman shaking and trembling in fear, shaken up by the sounds of alarms and the red sky. It reminds the woman of the trauma seeing the death and destruction 7 years ago. Suddenly a masked man flickered to Tanya's side. Suya, come with me. It is not safe. It is the ANBU directed by Sandame to watch over her. No, I have to go to my brother, Tanya said resolutely. Under the order of the Hokage, you have to follow me. Otherwise I will have to use force. The ANBU said coldly. Tanya bit her lips. She can't disobey the order of the Hokage. But then the ANBU noticed something amiss from Tanya's words prior. Wait. You know. Shit. It's supposed to be a secret. Wait. No, actually every adult knows anyways. Okay. It's good. Relax, Tanya. I heard from someone. They say my brother had a fox demon in him. But he is my brother. I have to get him. She uses her acting skills. The ANBU nods under the mask. It made sense so he doesn't question it. But you are just a kid. You cannot do anything. Leave it to us. Sandame and others will save him. Have trust in Konoha. Tanya bit her lips. She needs to see Naruto. She can't just abandon him. She raised him for 7 years. Not like this. Come with me. I will have to use force if you don't comply. Wait. Maybe I can help. I could bring him back, maybe. I am his sister. Tanya is not sure if her presence could help, but at least in common tropes of stories, the presence of loved ones can do that to those taken over by monsters or in case of possessions. The ANBU sighed behind the mask. The man in front of her suddenly disappeared. And instantly he is right behind Tanya. His hand striking right towards the back of Tanya's neck. Tanya senses the danger and quickly dodges it. Nanny? The ANBU gasped as Tanya used a backswing to block his move. And before he can properly comprehend it, Tanya uses a body flicker and appears behind his back. She does the same chop with extra strength from her use of Raging Fist. She knocks him unconscious. The Chunin ANBU that's only assigned to only watch her doesn't have the skills to react to such an unexpected situation. The ANBU plopped to the ground like a ragdoll. The Hokage won't be too unreasonable towards a 7-year-old child logically. The punishment shouldn't be worth mentioning. While Tanya follows order, but only if it has more benefit to herself. And now the situation calls for it. Tanya quickly uses body flicker roof to reach where Naruto is, constantly avoiding other shinobi in sight. She stood above a higher altitude, overseeing the panic spreading across the village currently. Beyond the blasts and chaos, There it is. Naruto. She sees him, or it. A figure coated in thick dark red chakra with 6 tails behind it. As if what stood there wasn't her brother, but a beast. Naruto had lost control over himself, taken over by the hatred inside of his heart. Chapter 14, Return of the Devil. Naruto strikes the ground with all his might, his 6 tails rampaging, causing shockwave after shockwave. As if throwing a tantrum, he blasted rocks and buildings, hurting anyone in vicinity, causing injuries and even deaths to shinobi trying to stop him. Roar! Naruto roared in pain. The bloody tears flowing down its demonic eyes vaporized instantly. Positive and negative chakra gather and concentrate. Tanya, looking from afar, bit her lips again, even causing it to bleed slightly. Naruto. She is shaking with frustration and even anger at seeing Naruto like this. How could this happen? How could Naruto, the brother that always had an unassuming smile, be like this? Where did it go wrong? She felt disappointment over herself, because a part of her felt it was her failure to uphold her responsibility that eventually led to this. And that a part of her felt powerless seeing the destruction and power Naruto had. Unless she can take hold of the same power already inside her. But she has no idea how to begin with, and the possibility of turning into the same mindless monster as well. Too much risk. With uncertain return. Not to mention the consequences in the long run. Naruto is about to land the Bijidama. But as his mouth about to blast it, the ground beneath Naruto trembled and broke open. A long rod expanded from underground and smashed onto Naruto's jaw, redirecting the blast upward. Boom. Naruto is flung like a ragdoll from the hit and smashed into the house. Roar. Naruto let out a cry at Hiruzen as he crawled out of the crater. Hiruzen looks at Naruto with pity and sadness. He can hear and feel the pain inside of him. Minato. I had failed you. Hiruzen self-reflected again as he prepared his staff. He needs to stall Naruto until Tenzo and the sealing team arrive. Raw. Naruto burst in speed, charging into Hiruzen. Hiruzen weave hand seals, earth release, mud river flow. The ground beneath Naruto turned into a sliding flowing mud, causing Naruto's steps to slip, lose his footing and fall into the flowing mud. Taking the chance, Hiruzen weaves a combo jutsu. Earth release, mud wall. Hiruzen shoots mud from his mouth, burying Naruto in it. Fire release, fire dragon missile. Flames shoot out at fast speed, engulfing the mud, burying Naruto. The mud hardened in an instant, trapping him. But how could that trap him? Boom, boom. 2 tails broke through the earth, trapping him. Wave of chakra exploded from the beast. Crack, crack, roar. Naruto burst out from his entrapment. He roared madly as he grabbed onto the nearby tree and objects with his limbs and threw them to the old man. Hiruzen dodged with skill, using his staff to destroy the incoming attacks. The projectiles landing behind Hiruzen caused buildings and terrain to be damaged. Naruto once again charges up a Bijidama, and he fires multiple waves of attacks at high speed. Hiruzen's eyes widened, his fingers fast. Earth release, earth wall. A thick wall made of earth erect just in time. Boom, boom, boom. Each hit took away pieces of the earth wall. Boom. It managed to block the final attack, but the shockwave sent Hiruzen flying meters backward. 2A and BU finally came to support Hiruzen. Naruto starts to rush up with his dark red limbs stretched out, wanting to crush all of them. The 3 in tacit understanding of stopping Naruto launched a combined attack. Water release, water waves. Rushing flood of high current water crashed directly into Naruto, causing him to drown and lose the ability to move under the pressure and current of the water. Naruto uses his tails and hands to hold onto the nearby building and infrastructure as he's withstanding the current. After the jutsu was over, Naruto crawled out of the rubbles. For tails burst forth, destroying everything nearby. His roar caused a shockwave to blow everything around him apart, creating a large crater around him. The fight continues. Hiruzen used shadow clones and various jutsu to weaken Naruto. Finally, Yamato and the sealing team had arrived. Hiruzen looked to the side, seeing them with relief. Tenzo. I will create an opportunity for you. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 2 more clones appear at the side of Hiruzen. The 5 Hiruzens surrounded the transformed Naruto and performed the explosive 5-element jutsu combination. Each of them shoots waves of fire, water, earth, lighting, and wind, combined into a massive burst of power. The beast let out a roar of pain as it withstood the attack, weakened a lot from the blast. Yamato and the sealing team quickly used this opportunity. Wood started to grow out of the ground, binding Naruto, and also had a suppressive effect. The sealing squad each places a scroll on the ground each. Slamming their hand into them, Fuin symbols shoot out and crawl from the scroll and cover Naruto, further binding him. Toby, who's been watching since earlier, decides to make a move now. His existence as Uchiha Madara is exposed anyhow, and it won't matter as long as he doesn't reveal his ability to avoid risk. Toby uses body flicker, and with his strength and skill alone he kills a sealing squad member as easy as ant. Uchiha? Hiruzen saw the mask and the Sharingan in the right eye. He and the 2 ANBUs with him quickly went forward to engage with him. But Hiruzen had exhausted his chakra and stamina, and Toby mostly ignored them and instead targeted the sealing squad members and finally just kicked Yamato away and injured him severely before he can suppress Naruto. Roar! Toby sees the beast finally escape the binding. He thought it's already fun enough and just flickered off with a smirk. Hiruzen turned to one of the ANBU. Chase him. But do not engage. The ANBU nodded and went ahead to chase Toby, which Toby kill easily later. Hiruzen looks at the injured and battered sealing squad members and Yamato, who's bleeding profusely on the ground. His shadow clones took them away to find a medical ninja and treat them quickly. Toby thought he had enough and decided to leave. He enters the Kamui dimension, assuming it's over for them. Naruto would return back to normal after a while anyway, since it's only temporary. His goal to weaken Konoha and kill the Uchiha is achieved. Tanya, seeing the scene, clenched her fist so tight it's turning white. She's afraid for Naruto's life. Seeing the third using such a powerful jutsu towards Naruto almost made her heart stop. The possibility that Naruto might die. Or if they decide to kill Naruto. She felt wave of frustration and anger. Badump. Tanya felt a calling inside her. The moment she blinks, she's back in the subconscious space. Kyuubi. Tanya looks warily. You want to stop your precious brother, don't you? Ha ha. I will give you power. Come here. Come close and take it. Kyuubi clenched his claws on the gates. Kyuubi believes this is a chance to overtake her using her rare vulnerable emotions. A moment of opportunity to pry the seal and take over her body. Flood of red chakra leaks up from the gates, but not reaching Tanya, who steps away from the evil chakra. Tanya looks warily. But when she thinks about Naruto, she steeled her resolve. A god that had stronger power had wanted to control her will and had failed. This time, she will not surrender either. A fox is nothing compared to being X. And being X is nothing compared to her will. Rush of adrenaline runs through her body as she's going to do something completely insane. This is suicidal. But what choice do I have? That damn being X, I knew you would eventually do this to me. Huh? The frustration, fear, anger, and adrenaline rush at the crazy decision she's making caused her to force a smile. Massive soul pressure rushes outward from Tanya, her eyes gleaming with almost what can be called insanity, as if she could kill the entire world with her bare hands. As if something at this moment snapped. She stepped forward and stood an inch before the gates, her eyes locking with Kyuubi, like 2 crazy demons facing each other. Tanya stretched her hands towards Kyuubi, as if welcoming him fully. A smile that covered almost half of her face stretched on her lips, with a crazed light in her eyes sending chills even to Kyuubi. After 7 years of peace in the shinobi world, the devil of the Rhine returned. Come. I will take your offer. Tanya steps forward and willingly basks herself in Nine Tails chakra. Her expression grows more and more sinister in Kyuubi's view as she takes in his chakra. Kyuubi felt like he might be making a mistake, but shook that thought away. No, I can't be afraid of this mere human, as she won't be able to control my power. For certain. Kyuubi returned to a face of confidence and pride. Red chakra leaks up from Kyubi more. Tanya willingly lets every evil chakra flow into her, instantly engulfing all of Tanya's body, wanting to devour her mind. Kyubi grinned in mocking, thinking the foolish brat dared to take all of his power. She will definitely lose control, and he can take her over, or so he thought. Naruto, are you there? Listen to Gramp, Hiruzen shouted, as if trying to find any hope of waking Naruto up from voice alone. Hiruzen wondered if there's no other choice. If this is the end of his life, if he used the Death Reaper seal, he might be taking Naruto's soul along with it. He is unsure if he can perfectly take only the Nine Tails chakra into him and not touch Naruto's. But there might be no other way. I hope you can forgive me, Minato, Kushina. Hiruzen's will of fire ignited. His death will be the catalyst for new generations. Hiruzen is about to weave hand seals for the dead demon-consuming seal, but he suddenly felt a heavy pressure descending, a powerful, similarly if not more evil than Naruto's, appear not far away. No! Impossible. Sia too. Hiruzen is in panic as he had to turn around to look at the source of the chakra. On top of the building, the bright red moon shines its light towards the figure. The wave of chakra and pressure alone caused the building to crumble bit by bit. Bubbles of dark red chakra covered Tanya. Tanya felt like her entire body was burning and her blood was boiling with power. It hurts so much. Like my body is burning inside out. But this power, this feeling, so much hatred. Tanya let out an evil smile subconsciously, feeling the corruption on her emotions and the mind. I feel like killing and destroying everything. Haha. No wonder. Is this how you feel, brother? But compared to what being X had done, this is nothing at all. I clenched my fist. I will stop you myself. Tanya's sinister grin remained, but her mind never lost it. The burst of evil red chakra that's wild and exploding suddenly became very tame. The dark red coat of chakra covered Tanya's entire body like living, constantly shifting cracks of webs. While part of her face was left uncovered, the area around her eyes untouched, as if telling the semblance of humanity she had left. Her sinister grin appears even more sinister with her white teeth and fangs amidst the dark red skin. Her hair turns longer, coated with dark red power, turning into 5 distinct appendages swaying in the air. It's a completely different transformation than Naruto's, perfect control of Kyubi's chakra. Kyubi is shaken to his very core. How? This can't be possible. Chapter 15, Aftermath. Hiruzen saw the figure on top of the building. The evil chakra emanating from it makes Hiruzen feel like he's being pressed from both sides. The 5 dark red appendages formed from Tsuyo's hair sways in the air, with the red moon as backlight. No! If only Jiraiya is here. Hiruzen is racking his brain on what to do. His only chance is to use a shadow clone and use the Reaper Death Seal on both of them at the same time. Minato and Kushina will not forgive him for sure. But he has to do it for the sake of the village. Naruto at this moment has stopped attacking. Instead, he just looked towards the figure far away. Ha ha ha. My other half. Together, we will destroy everything. Kyubi inside of Naruto felt elated, feeling his half's chakra. Tanya is her demonic form, gathers chakra on all her 4 limbs. Akin to a beast, she flickered to where Naruto is, crumbling the ground she stood on. Whoosh! Like a dark red comet, she crashed onto the ground meters away from Naruto, causing shockwaves to blast dust and debris. Hiruzen covered his face, but his gaze watched with fear. Afraid of the upcoming battle against 2 Jinchuriki that had lost it. She stood, her dark red claws brandished as she locked eyes with the transformed Naruto. No. It can't be. She is in control. Kyubi realized it as he felt Tanya's angry gaze and clarity in her red iris. He doesn't want to believe a 7-year-old child can control his other half's power so perfectly. Wake up, Ni-san. Tanya shouted almost with anger, like scolding a child who had done something so wrong. Roar! Naruto roared angrily at Tanya. He charged forward as his claws expanded and stretched out, wanting to tear her apart. Tanya gnashed her teeth as used the same limb to clash with Naruto. Shockwaves from their powerful move cause more debris to flush towards Hiruzen. Sia. Hiruzen is in shock, bewildered even. She is in control. Hiruzen's brain almost went blank from seeing the situation in front of him. He can't fathom how a 7-year-old child can control such power. Naruto tails each rush towards Tanya, with each of them forming claws wanting to grab and slam her. Tanya's own 5 strips of hair representing her tails each mirrored Naruto's attack, stopping them. Another blast of shockwave impacted the surrounding area as the two clashed with each other. Craters formed from sheer pressure between the two. The ground beneath the two cracked inch by inch. Wake up! Tanya roared again. She sends chakra to her feet and uses body flicker directly to Naruto, causing the ground beneath to explode. Naruto's multiple attacks each missed her, altering the terrain at the same time. Tanya already arrived in front of him. Tanya raises both his arms, it expands and extends into 2 large fists as it slammed down hard. Boom! Naruto's entire body is slammed into the ground, causing a web-like crater around him. As Naruto raised his body on all 4 shakily, all his tails went to attack Tanya, but she used her own tails to grab onto and hold them in place. Tanya comes close, face to face with Naruto. Nia-san. Tanya shook his shoulders, as if wanting him to come back to his senses. Naruto let out a deafening roar. He's struggling against Tanya. He tried to claw at her. Tanya grabs his wrist tight. Nisan, please come back to your senses. Roar. Roar. Naruto's low roar akin to a weeping cry. His eyes look at Tanya, as if letting out his sadness and pain deep inside. Nisan. She saw tears flowing from the transformed Naruto's eyes for a second, before it vaporized instantly. And she finally understands, to a certain extent Naruto hides a deep pain and sadness inside, causing all this. And a part of this is her fault for not realizing it. She should have given more attention to him. I am here now. Nia-san. Wake up. Roar. Roar. Tanya felt Naruto's struggle weakening. He's just roaring softly now. Tanya feels like she's close to having Naruto back. She had to do something to comfort him more. She never has done this before, but she felt like it's what Naruto needed right now. She stepped closer and pulled him close, wrapping him in her arms. Naruto roared more. But it sounded more like a cry. Hiruzen watches from afar, overlooking the siblings. His shock is already over, and he's not sure if he should be impressed, scared, relieved, or bewildered. But as he watched Tsuyu's back, wrapping her arms around her twin brother, Hiruzen felt a tugging in his heart. He almost saw both Kushina and Minato's shadow behind her. Minato, your daughter will surpass you, Hiruzen thought inwardly. Naruto's chakra slowly recedes. His form gradually returned to more human appearance. The tails slowly shrink and disappear. Naruto, Tanya's own chakra cloak form recedes as she lets go of her emotions and feels relieved. Tanya looks at the now collapsed Naruto in her arms. He is still unconscious. Both of them had their skins burned off, though Naruto had it worse. Tanya checked his pulse and other life signs quickly. Tanya is not sure if Naruto is truly okay or not, seeing his weak state. She turned over to Hiruzen. She's sure the Hokage will probably talk to her later, but it's not like she did anything wrong and even provided her service. Sandaime-sama. Naruto needed medical attention. Tanya said respectfully. Hiruzen is trying to form words as he looks with a complicated expression towards her and Naruto. Hiruzen turned to the side, calling the beaten and battered ANBU nearby. Make sure what happened just now never leaks out. Give the message to all. He nods and disappears with a body flicker. Hiruzen called the other ANBU to bring the siblings to medic. Naruto's rampage is stopped, but now he needs to get onto the Uchiha side. The ANBU went to the siblings, come you two, we will get you both checked. Tanya and the unconscious Naruto are treated by ANBU Medic Corp, though the Sealing Squad and Yamato are on standby ready to intervene in case anything happens. Fortunately, both of them are fine. Tanya's body is bandaged all over due to the burns on her skin. She felt really exhausted, and her body felt pain all over. But it must have been worse for his brother. She looks at Naruto wrapped up like a mummy on the bed. She sat on the chair next to him, waiting for him to wake up. Sigh. I am not fit to raise someone after all. Tanya thought inwardly, blaming her inadequacy. Hiruzen arrived at the Uchiha compound, finding them littered with corpses with eyes gouged out. He sees masked ANBU, or rather, root members in the perimeter. Danzo appears from the darkness. Danzo. It's you. Isn't it? Hiruzen doesn't need to turn around to know who it is. Danzo looked blandly at Hiruzen. Itachi Uchiha has massacred his own clan. He is now classified as S, class missing nin. I see. You and your schemes. Humph. The Uchiha deserves this. I am proven right, Hiruzen. The Nine Tails is controlled by them. Hiruzen couldn't reply because he had to agree on the matter. But he cannot openly say it and put the blame all towards Danzo. From now, your root division is dissolved. You have taken your own initiative without my order, undermining my position as the Hokage. TCH. What I have done is for the good of Konoha. Remember that, Hiruzen. Uchiha compound. Itachi, Fugaku, along with ANBU members with them, relatively easily subdue the rebels. The sudden appearance of Nine Tails Jinchuriki, losing control outside, does not stop the fight among the Uchihas. As Itachi subdued the last member of the Uchiha rebel, he felt his mind exhausted and out of ideas. Fugaku as well had to accept their fate. The rebels had claimed their involvement with the Nine Tails outbreak, and the ANBU are listening. They cannot escape the blame. Danzo suddenly appears from the dark. His eyes locked with Itachi's. The two had already talked before behind Hiruzen's back. And Itachi knew what had to be done. And that, at least Sasuke will be safe. Fugaku looked at Danzo, then at Itachi. The root members had all surrounded them. The Uchiha members supporting Fugaku looked bewildered, as if they felt betrayed by the village. Fugaku-sama. The village they dash, one of the Uchiha spoke. Fugaku raised one hand, stopping him. It's useless to speak. It's over for us. We cannot escape the blame this time, Fugaku said solemnly. Itachi. Compared to our pain, it is nothing compared to yours. Fugaku kneeled on the ground in surrender, submitting himself to be executed. He already knows the details of Itachi's initial given order. Even if the outcome doesn't change, I am proud of you, Itachi. Itachi had tears in his eyes as he shakily took his blade out. The root members began their slaughter. Tobi sneakily joined the slaughter as well and harvested as much Sharingan as he could. Meanwhile, in Konoha's shelter, the ANBU and shinobi dispersed. That the Nine Tails rampage is over and everything is already under control. Everyone is let out. Sasuke immediately ran off to the Uchiha compound. But what awaits him are corpses of his clans and even his parents. He met his brother Itachi, but instead of the kind brother he used to know, it's no longer him. Otudo-yo. Itachi let Sasuke with cold eyes as he stood in front of Fugaku and Makoto's corpse. Sasuke suffered through everything just like in the original. Itachi met Hiruzen before his departure, informing him about his plans after. Itachi, your sacrifice will be remembered. I will not change the password to the barrier. You can always come in to check on Sasuke, Hiruzen said as he looked out to the village. Itachi will join Akatsuki and keep tabs on the Uchiha Madara, as he is the main culprit of the Nine Tails outbreak. Tobi thought nothing of it, since Itachi still slayed his clan with his hands and had nowhere else to go. He can still use his power for his cause. After letting Itachi leave, Hiruzen went to check up on Tsuyu and Naruto. He went to Tsuyu's side, who's watching unconscious Naruto in bed. He's not sure what to say or where to begin the conversation. Tanya stood and bowed respectfully to him as he approached. Sandaime-sama. No need for formality. Instead, I would like to thank you. If you had not interfered, more damage and loss would have happened. Sandaime-sama, I am only doing my duty as Konoha shinobi and as Naruto's sister. Hiruzen let out a smile. The new generation is in good hands. Despite today's disaster, he sees hope in the future. You haven't graduated yet, so you are not a shinobi for now, Hiruzen said jokingly, trying to lighten the heavy atmosphere and his own heart. But your heart already is. With you around, I can feel at ease. You inherited the will of fire from your parents. You will be a great shinobi, and I can entrust Konoha's future with you. Hiruzen also thought that the same will of fire and her love for Naruto is what enables her to control the power of Kyuubi inside of her. Sandaime-sama, I am unworthy of your praise, Tanya said respectfully. Though, you are too rigid. Ha ha. Perhaps you can learn to be more unserious from your brother, Hiruzen said with an amused laugh. Hiruzen sighed as he looked at the unconscious boy on the bed. You are mature, and I believe I should treat you like an adult. However, some things, even as adults, we can have hindsight. You are bright, and I have seen your performance in the academy and your hard work as well. However, your brother is different from you, as you are aware. He is a lonely person, and needs more attention and care from you. Tanya digested Hiruzen's words, understanding the fact. I hope you can always keep watch on your brother. He needs guidance, and he needs love and company more. I believe you can do it, Sayukuen. I am sorry for asking this from you, but in my eyes, you are not just a 7-year-old child. I believe you can bear this responsibility. I understand. I will do my best and not disappoint you, Sandaime-sama. He nods, seeing Tanya's acceptance of such heavy responsibility. I also believe you understand the importance of secrecy on what happened. So, I wouldn't need to explain. I will talk to you more later, especially about the power you have used. Hiruzen turned around ready to leave. The academy will be suspended for a week meanwhile. Take this time to spend it with Naruto once he wakes up. He needs it. Tanya nodded and bowed respectfully. I have other important matters to attend to. I will leave him to you, Sayukuen. Hiruzen left the medical room. Despite his own tiredness and weariness, he headed towards his office to deal with the aftermath of today's event.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I truly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for future updates. Your support means the world to me.